Hello there. Welcome to Not Another Space Opera, a Dark Matter one-shot presented by Barbarian and Mage Hand Press. I am your Dungeon Master this evening, Diana D'Amico. I am the Business Relations Specialist over at Die Hard Dice, among other things. I'm one half of Barbarian, and I do all kinds of stuff across the internet. Thank you for joining me. I have a whole bunch of really talented folks to run through adventure tonight. So let's start off with Justice. Who are you and where can people find you through the week?
Hello, my name is Justice Armin. I am a writer and a goblin at Beetle and Grimm's. You can typically find me on Twitter at Justice_Armin. We're in the dark recesses of the internet, researching, waiting, watching.
Yeah, professional creep. Okay, cool. Gabe, what about you?
Hi, my name is Gabe at James Games. You can
You're
find me
real quiet, Gabe.
Let me fix that real quick.
There we
Hi,
go.
my name is Gabe, Gabe James Games. You can find me in the happier recesses of the internet, doing game design for digital and tabletop, occasional voice acting, and often narrative work, or cosplay. And yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything as edgy as Justice. I'm just happy and I like to dance in the woods.
You do great cosplay. The Witcher thing was amazing.
I got more for that. I'm very excited.
It was hella good. Justin.
Oh, hi. I am Justin. I'm the community manager for Mage Hand Press. We made Dark Matter, the super cool setting. It's on Kickstarter right now for a starter kit and a second printing of the core book, and it's pretty neat, in my totally unbiased opinion.
I mean, it's fair to be biased. You made the thing, and it is really cool. So, like, even if you're biased, it's still honest, and that's good.
100% biased.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And last but not least, Mr. Omega Jones.
Hi, friends. My name is Omega Jones, also known as the Critical Bard. I am an actor, vocalist. I am a TTRPG content creator. I am the content creator. I am the host and creator of the Black AF Roundtable, a series of talks surrounding issues that Black folk have within the tabletop community. I'm also the jingle artist for Critical Role. This new show, Critter Hug. And yeah, that's me.
You do all kinds of cool stuff.
I do. I'm also a partner Twitch streamer. That's important to say now.
Woo! Woo! Well, we are going to be playing through a Dark Matter one-shot. This has nothing to do with the Kickstarter, and in all likelihood is probably not entirely Dark Matter material, because I don't really know what I'm doing, but if you like D&D in space, go and check them out. The core rulebook came out in 2018, Justin?
Yep.
And it is an incredible campaign setting if you're getting a little burnt out on the typical medieval style D&D game. So, tonight, we begin our adventure at the Arpeggio Opera House. This satellite opera house has been created as a hub of the finer things spread throughout the verse. It is a 5-star luxury spa, an incredible hotel with amazing views, as well as one of the grandest opera houses ever to be seen. It's decorated in a typical Terran style, plush red velvet all over the place, lots of gold brocade and filigree, and tonight is the grand opening. Now, this opera house is designed to hold about 10,000 visitors on any given day. However, for the grand opening, 250 elite invitations were sent out to individuals of influence and wealth across the universe. It just so happens that all 4 of you found yourself in possession of one of these invitations. We open on the lobby setting of the Arpeggio. Again, this place is beautifully decorated. There's marble sculptures everywhere. There's a fully decked out bar staff serving everything across the universe that you could possibly want to drink is here. Glancing around the room, you see business tycoons, political figures, actors, actresses, people of great influence, power, and wealth. who you would only really encounter in a place like this. The Opera House was built as a testament to amity between species, and the crowd you see in front of you is really a testament to that. There's people spread from both ends of the universe, high elves. There are a couple of Vect dignitaries there. Even a few orcs are making their way through the crowd and kind of shaking hands and making pleasantries with the folks in this room. Tonight, the opening night is a benefit for the Blue Springs Project. It's a project that's been really, really close to the heart of the featured act for the evening, who is Axiomanthes Rufio Galatonia III. She's a Triton who's made her name in the stars as a vocalist, and a humanitarian and a philanthropist. However, she's not who you see in front of you right now. Who you do see are a lot of very important people, some of whom you might recognize throughout the crowd and others who you might not. However, let's meet our players. Ace Harrison. Tell us a little bit about what you look like and what you would be doing at this fancy party.
Well, Ace Harrison, he, they pronouns. They are, honestly, they're kind of decked out. They kind of have a three-piece suit on, a nice tailcoat. They like to look expensive when they can, especially moments like this. They are a near human, and what strikes you firstly is the fact that they are obsidian black. They are basically the color of a shadow, and their shadow is kind of doing some weird stuff right now, but don't worry about it, it's normal. Bright white hair, almost pompadourish to the back, gray eyes, nice brows, but you barely can see them for obvious reasons. They don't have anything like on them, nothing like no weaponry, no armor. It's kind of walking with, they do have gloved hands, fingerless gloves, and they're kind of just tapping and kind of looking around, playing. They honestly are just talking to everyone, getting to know people. They are someone who wants to be in the know always, because they might seem sketchy, and they probably are, but don't worry, they won't steal your money for now. They'll steal your information, because that's more important in this age. And yeah, that's them.
Is this an environment in which he would typically find himself?
You can find them in bars. You can find them in parties like this. Definitely wasn't invited. That invitation probably wasn't for him. He stole it. And you find them very much in moments like this where a lot of people are, so they can get as much information as possible and sell it to the highest bidder. I will say they also are twirling an actual ace card in their hand. Just kind of playing with that, but that's them.
Okay, kind of sneaking his way through the crowd, seeing who might be a good target to pick up a little information from.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Ezekiel, what would you be doing at this party?
Ezekiel's probably looking for a drink. You could see him in. So he is an elf with shaved sides of his head, and then like a short braid that stops maybe like at the back of his neck going down. His eyes are almost like a soft white to the iris. It's probably an unnatural tone. It might have been work that he had done, so the people have a little bit of fear when they look in his unnatural looking eyes.
Okay.
He is wearing decently heavy body armor, actually, underneath a cloak that kind of sits to the sides, and there is the hilt of something at his hip, and he's just walking past and smiling and nodding and making small talk, and wouldn't be shocked if there was a previous client or two that he'd done work for here, and might have been the reason that he had gotten the invitation in the first place. But just then going up to the bar and looking around and looking to see who the strongest person in this bar might be, like in this bar, this party area that's within sight, just so that he can
size him up.
I was gonna say knock him down a peg if he just danced, but yes, that's less hostile.
Okay. And most of the people that you're encountering are super happy to see you. They didn't expect Ezekiel to be here, but oh my gosh, hey, honey, look who it is, and you'll get all kinds of gestures like that as you pass through the crowd. And none of these are people who you really want to stay around and talk to, so you're like, oh, I gotta go,
no.
But good to see you, I guess.
Hey, you, bye.
As you sort of make your way over to the bar, just checking out the crowd and seeing who else is out there, you do notice Ace across the room, sort of just making his way among the thralls, not paying attention to any one person in particular, but you do notice him over there.
Interesting.
Aggie, what would you be doing at this party?
Aggie is currently kind of in the corner somewhere, awkwardly fiddling with like a personal data pad. It looks like he's working on something. Aggie's a nautilid, and nautilids essentially are fish people that walk around in what looks like an old-timey diving suit, and so he's wearing that. But to make it a little bit more fancy, he's added a little bow tie.
Cute.
But he definitely looks like he is at the wrong party right now. And his invitation was supposed to go to Agrius Galanis, who's a very successful tech mogul, and not Agrius Galanos, who is Aggie.
You two get switched up all the time, though. Like
all the time.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot. Even though you feel a little out of place at this party, you are the only nautilid here. First of all, you get a few strange looks from the crowd as you're there typing on your data pad. You may not notice it, but while you were walking in, you did take note of the fact that this was for this is for the Blue Springs project. It's something you're familiar with, but you also know that the Blue Springs project is a large political thing right now. So even though it directly affects nautilids and the nautilid homeworld, you don't think anything of it. You don't connect the two dots as you're walking into this party that's benefiting you, technically.
Okay.
And last but not least, Grant Douglas VII. Now, you can't take 3 steps into this party before a young impressionable woman comes up and she's, oh my gosh, you're him, right? You're not like an impersonator hired for the party or anything. You're the Grant Douglas VII, right?
Yep, my great granddaddy's granddaddy was indeed Grant Douglas the First. I am the one.
OMG. Oh my gosh, can I get a selfie with you? Can I get one?
Yeah.
Would that be all right?
Yeah.
Cool. And this young woman can't be more than 15 or 16. She's an impressionable young elven lass. She just kind of like leans into your shoulder and gives a big thumbs up and like takes a cuff that she's got that looks to be her communication device and just sort of presses a button and says, okay, now smile and look really happy.
I'm not sure where to look. Peace sign.
That looks great.
Well.
Okay, well, like it was super great to meet you. If you want to like dance or like hang out later or something, I'm gonna be right over there. You can see that she's pointing across the crowd to a couple that are obviously her parents. Her father has a very angry look on his face, and he's just sort of like waving her over sternly. Just after this interruption to your evening, what are you doing at the party?
Let's see. So Grant is he is a beast man. So he's kind of got like a large mustache going out. It kind of looks like a cross between a lion and a mongoose. He's wearing a nice deep blue vest with a bright red puff tie, and he has his hair slicked back. He'd probably be leaning against the bar. Probably would ask for something like a no-nonsense drink, and being on the lookout for any rich benefactors who might have a bounty or an opportunity for Grant to pick up.
Okay. And you, with the connections that you have, looking around this crowd, you do recognize a few folks who may have something for you to do. It might not be the exciting work you're looking for right this second, but Chesterfield Cornswallop, a gentleman who you've interacted with a couple of times. You don't really enjoy his company, but he is a real estate developer working intergalactically. His whole big thing is buying planets on the cheap and turning them into luxury resorts, much like this one, and then selling them for a pretty penny. More than once or twice he's hired you as some muscle for one function or another. You have interacted with him in the past. You see him in the crowd, and he sort of like tips his hat to you and goes back to his drink. There are a couple of other individuals who you've worked with in the past, but lots of wealthy folks around here. There's also a cloaked individual about halfway down the bar who is sizing you up pretty intensely right now.
Sizing me up?
Mm-hmm.
Well, do they look like they want an autograph? I guess I'll go over there and see if they like an autograph. So I pushed myself away from the bar and excuse me as I head on over and then lean up against. I say, "Hello there. You must be one of my many adoring fans." And I reach in and pull out a picture of myself standing next to a criminal that I brought in, and I scribe my name on there, and I say, "Here's this for you."
Ezekiel, a strange man has approached you at the bar and is now handing you a picture that he just wrote his name on.
I get the sense this isn't what you were looking for.
Ah, okay. So this is your name.
It's as best as I can write it, yeah.
Does he look better in the picture than he does in real life?
Probably.
You should see if you can mimic this. You look better here.
It's basically like a excited bass catch. And he's like, and his hair is like all messed up. I'd say, "Oh, well, I'm not on the job right now, but I'll do my best." And I flash the sharp teeth, and it ding.
What sort of work do you do? Grant Douglas the Seventh.
Yeah. Well, I'm mostly a bounty hunter by trade. I do occasionally do children's birthday parties and the like. What about you? And I hold out my paw for a handshake. I say, "Name's Grant."
And I'll shake his hand. Name's Ezekiel.
Nice to meet you, Ezekiel. What do you do for work?
I'm somewhat of a gladiator.
That sounds mighty interesting. I'm sure you have a few stories to tell.
At that moment, he probably like taps the thing on the back of his head, and then like a full face, like metal helmet comes across his face. Oh, you'd be surprised.
Oh god, fantasy sci-fi is so awesome.
I'm not expecting that.
Well, I am surprised, and I tap the bar, and I'm definitely buying you a drink.
There's a woman who's kind of come up behind you, Grant, to get a refill. It looks like she's already had a couple. To get a refill of her beverage, and she sees this thing just appear, and she just sort of grabs a glass near her and stumbles back into the crowd.
That happens more than you think.
No,
or less.
And as you two are kind of having this conversation, Ace, you've seen these two enter the room. And you know who Grant Douglas the Seventh is. Everyone knows who Grant Douglas the Seventh is. So you sort of begin to make your way through the crowd nonchalantly in that direction because you know that secrets about celebrities, that's a lot of cash. And you see other people that you recognize along the way. There's the Benthwaite and Enterprises CEO, Marcus Intwell, is there having a very heated business discussion about stocks and values and this investment opportunity and things like that, while his drunken wife Bitsy sips at a drink, kind of leaning very heavily into his side. But you do slowly make your way across the room closer to these two out-of-place individuals who are having a conversation about mercenary work.
As I'm walking close, again, and I don't know how lit this place is. I assume it lit enough, but still having that vibe of being chill and let's party, you know?
Yeah.
As I'm walking, excuse me, I'm going to attempt to just pickpocket just very subtly as I walk forward.
Anyone in particular?
Nope. Just literally just if I walk past someone, just a subtle.
Right.
And it doesn't have to necessarily be money I'm looking for. Just interesting things to have.
Okay. Make me a sleight of hand check.
Can do this, Captain. That is math. That is a 24. No, 22.
Okay. That's still heckin' good. You pass by a middle-aged woman, very, very rotund in nature, but she has her purse just, like, obviously, like, hanging open to her side. And you kind of reach in, and even though the coin purse is there, you sort of bypass that because that's boring, because you notice a little black book that she has in there. So you kind of stealthily just pluck that out and slide it into your own pocket. She barely notices at the last second, but she just kind of turns to you and she's like, as you continue through the crowd.
Yep, but I wordlessly just keep walking over. And I get close to Grant and Ezekiel, but I'm probably like 10 feet away. I just want to just eavesdrop for a second.
Okay. Aggie, are you still entranced in whatever's happening on your data pad, or are you checking out the happenings at the party?
You know what? Like at some point, Aggie might get a little peckish and stop by the snack table, and just like awkwardly, you know, he's very big, so he's probably kind of have to like, squeeze through. Excuse me, pardon me.
And every couple of steps, because this is a full room, people will stop you and they'll say things like, "Oh my gosh, you're so brave," or, like, "May the gods look upon you with favor." Like, very encouraging statements to say to a stranger. It just seems kind of off to you, but you do manage to make your way through and grab some snacks to enjoy.
Okay. Thank you. Right.
And just really quickly while I kind of wait off to the side. I don't know if Aggie is close to like where the drinks would be at all.
It's sort of a long connected table, so there's the bar and then there's like a little snack buffet off to the side.
Cool beans.
So you're maybe 10 feet from him as well.
And he would probably get a drink at some point. And the way he'll drink it is he's just going to like open a hatch on top and just kind of dump it into his helmet.
Oh no.
Awesome.
Aggie is best boy.
I will definitely notice that. Not say anything about it, but I will notice that. But I'm just simply holding up a joker in my hand, and I kind of flip it, and then I flip it again, and the joker is no longer there. But you do see the hand of the joker floating as I catch Mage hand, and that hand just goes over and grabs like the nearest drink and brings it back towards me. But that's all. I just want to get a drink.
Aggie, you saw a little bit of that happen.
Yeah. So Aggie definitely just like kind of stops and just like looks, and like watches the hand in the glass. And just...
It like stops and looks, and then it keeps going.
I mean, when it gets to you, I just do the awkward wave. Yeah.
Oh. I probably just like a curt head nod as the hand is going towards my mouth with the drink sipping.
Can't even be bothered to hold your own glass, man.
No, because I need my hands for other things.
And then after that awkward little interaction with all of Aggie's awkwardness, he then goes back to his corner.
Oh. So as the four of you are kind of standing there, you're individually, you're all eyeing the room, because this is not, it's not a supernatural environment for anyone to be in, but looking at the company that you're keeping right now, these are the wealthiest people in the universe. And even though you all individually have done well for yourselves, you don't have this kind of cash. So whether or not you think that your invitation was supposed to go to someone else, if perhaps you happened upon it through a former client or things like that, you are all painfully aware of this fact as you're staring around the crowd. In addition to seeing the CEOs and the real estate developers that we've talked about before, there's a couple of more nefarious characters. There's Antona45L, who is a Vect mob boss, who's there, under the guise of a charitable act. She's there with a couple of her cronies and a few bodyguards and things like that.
What's her name again? Sorry.
Antona45L.
Antona. Okay. Thank you.
She pretends her legal business is providing sort of like cheap medicine and things like that to folks like the Nautilids who find themselves displaced throughout the universe, and she legally looks like she does a whole lot of humanitarian acts and earns a little bit of money through the charitable donations coming in that way. However, all of you are smart enough to recognize that this woman, robot, sentient being, she's doing some nefarious stuff. She's dealing roach on the side. She's actually operating sort of a black market for some of those more complicated medical procedures, things that the Nautilids don't have access to very much now because they are so scattered throughout the verse, being a displaced species. In addition to some of the nefarious folks, there's also someone who you all recognize as having potentially worked with them in the past. Arvox, who is an albino, ambiguous high elf, who owns a terraforming company. And they are in part responsible for the existence of this station because they're really good at building things that people can live on. But looking around, this is the kind of company you're keeping right now, and this is a very unique opportunity for all of you. And as you're sort of taking this in and absorbing that fact, a large holographic screen sort of comes to light in the middle of the room. The lights dim just a little bit to give you all a clearer view of this, and there's a voiceover that you recognize as Axiomanthes, the featured act of the evening, where she says, "Greetings, guests, and welcome to the grand opening of the Arpeggio Opera House. It is my deepest pleasure to bring you here tonight. We are doing good work for the Blue Springs project in the hopes that we can return the Nautilids to a planet that is entirely theirs, and we appreciate all of the charitable contributions that you all will undoubtedly make this evening. The Arpeggio Opera House is being built as an exchange program for youth throughout the universe to express themselves in their artistry and to work together to build a better future. However, we must first address the fact that the Nautilids have no home. And that is why we're working for the Blue Springs Project this evening. The Blue Springs Project is an attempt to take over a terraformed planet that houses abundant natural resources, including something not unlike Poseidon's Tears. We want to reclaim this land and give it to the Nautilids, whose home was destroyed, in order to give them a safe space throughout the universe. This is but one of many charitable organizations that the Arpeggio Opera House will be working with this year. And then the announcement kind of trails off into another series of things that they're going to be trying to do. You know, it's sort of like the NPR charity drives where they're talking about this broadcasting brought by your donations, things like that. So the voiceover just continues to talk about all of these other things that you could give money to. And the video sort of ends with a beautiful logo of the Blue Springs Project, and it's a terraformed planet that is entirely water. It's nothing but blue. And Aggie, when you see this, it kind of rings a bell with you. This looks like home, and you remember hearing something about the company, Arvox's company, terraforming a moon that they had recently acquired, and something went wrong. And it basically yielded a second planet full of Poseidon's Tears. And immediately the government had seized it while they were trying to decide what to do with it, because until this point it had been privately owned, and they had to decide if they were going to do the right thing and give it to people to live on, or do the profitable thing and sell it off to one of these various interested parties. So you're kind of like, oh yeah, I remember hearing about this. This is an important thing. You, however, don't hold out hope that you're ever going to see a planet like home ever again. Yeah, no, I've seen too many things dashed by corporate greed. And as this video kind of concludes and you see the tagline of the Blue Springs Project string up across the screen, it sort of fades out. And beyond it, on a small platform in the middle of the room, Axiomanthes is standing there with a microphone in front of her. And she says, "Welcome, friends. Thank you all for joining me this evening. I personally oversaw the invitation list, and I have so much joy for the faces in this room tonight. This will be the first performance for the Arpeggio Opera House, but certainly not the last. I hope that you all enjoy your stay here, that you're willing to donate to our causes, and that you're all willing to enjoy your time and do the right thing." And it's an odd speech for her because she's making eye contact with a few of the folks in the crowd very, insistently as she's saying these things.
And this is like a hologram or like a video.
This is actually her. She's standing on this platform beyond where that
gotcha.
Screen was.
Yeah, okay. Understood.
And as she's standing there, a waiter comes by with a tray and she sort of grabs a drink off of it. And she raises it in the air and she says, "A toast to the Arpeggio Opera House and the wonderful work we're going to do together." And then she takes a drink.
To opera.
To information. And I drink with my mage hand.
Now, while the speech was going on, since Aggie did notice someone that he's aware essentially abuses the Nautilid situation, he is going to be attempting to hack into her social media profiles.
Into Axiomanthes or one of the guests?
Antona 45L.
Okay. What you find...
Can do that?
He's good at stuff. Make me an intelligence roll. Would that be right, Dark Matter Master?
the data skill, which is one of 3 new skills in dark matter.
Hey, roll me a data skill check.
Right. So that is a 15 plus 9 for a 24.
Oh yeah, you find everything on Antona
Not really
45L.
looking for things. Instead, I'm just wanting to, send out some space tweets and change like their profile picture and stuff to, basically like I'm editing the profile picture to like, have like a little pirate mustache and hat on, and posting tweets about how profiting off of the misfortune of others and stuff like that. Not any, anything like intelligence gathering or stealing information, more petty childishness almost.
You are thoroughly amused. You go through a couple of like profile pictures and things like that, and you put like a little fake finger sticking up her nose, and which is funny because she is basically an android and doesn't really have a nose. Like it's just silly things throughout the internet. And you enjoy that. You enjoy it. You do stumble across a few pieces of strange things while you're doing your petty hacking though. You pick up on the fact that she and Axiomanthes have had a lot of correspondence lately, and knowing that Axiomanthes is a very philanthropic member of the community, whereas Antona 45L is literally the exact opposite. All she does is take. That stands out to you as kind of strange, the fact that those two would have anything to talk about.
Oh, in that case, I'm gonna scroll through those DMs.
Okay. It's not exactly cooperative communication, but what it is Axiomanthes and Antona going back and forth, and Axiomanthes is trying to secure Blue Springs for the Nautilids, and Antona 45L is like, well, but what if I put in some of the money and then we like charge them rent? And it's all of these back and forth sort of small digs to try and get a profit out of the misfortune of the Nautilids in this crappy situation that they're in.
I screen cap that and tweet it on her profile that I've hacked.
Okay.
While this is happening, Ace will take the opportunity of the toast to walk closer to Grant and kind of saddle performer. Thank you. And just kind of just lean next, not really like talking to them or leaning like close to them, but leaning next to the like a table or something, and just simply, I'm assuming you're going to be giving some funds to this terraforming opportunity.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking about it, but I'm a little confused. For me, I always thought, and bear in mind that I spent more of my day shooting than I did in school. Terraforming sounds like has to do with land, but that ball she showed was mostly water, right? So I don't understand how that works. I don't get it.
Well,
allow me to enlighten you. Arvox is right next to you guys when you look up. And if you'll recall, Arvox is the one who owns the terraforming company. It was an unfortunate accident. They're usually far more controlled than that in our operations, but here we are. This mistake of a planet.
You sound like you aren't a fan of what's going on, friend.
I would be if I could replicate the process. It seems that there are a lot of folks who'd like to get their hands on Blue Springs. And here I was forced to hand it over to the government.
You were forced?
Yes. It's not every day that we find a place where the Nautilids could live in peace.
If it was your place and they just took it from you, what do you want now? To take it back? To have a hand in it? What is your goal while you're here?
I've heard of you, Ace Harrison. I know better than to tell you things that I can barely admit to myself. And he'll pick up a glass and turn back into the crowd and sort of make his way away.
As he walks away, I'm going to attempt to, if he has pockets, whatever's in his pocket, I'm going to attempt to just shoot with my mage hand.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another stealth roll.
Oh shit! Stealth or sleight of hand? The same.
Sleight of hand, sorry.
No,
So you know better than I do.
Nah, no, all good. Who keeps freaking calling me? Stop. Sorry.
It's me. I'm hacking your database.
That is. Ooh. Let me tell you, it was almost a natural one. Ooh, it was almost bad. That is a 25.
Okay. You go into Arvox's pocket and come out with a piece of paper that just has what you recognize to be a room number on it.
Okay. And I truthfully don't care if Grant or Ezekiel sees this.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll hold that and look at it and pocket it.
Grant and Ezekiel, this happened right next to you. Are you paying attention to this while it's happening?
I'll watch, but I actually don't care that much. He sees it happen, but he's not too bothered by it.
Okay. Grant?
Yeah, sounds about right. I've been in some skeevy bars. It happens.
I love that you guys are at the opera house and you're just like, oh yeah, pickpockets. It's cool. It's fine. This is fine.
Didn't take from me.
Does Grant like to work with people, or does he have like friends that he knows?
Grant would have a posse, yes. He's occasionally members will trade out and he'll join other posses, but you know, space cowboys, we gotta stick together and can't do things alone, and you end up getting shot in the back. That's how the way these things go in the wild, spacey frontier.
Well, Ace is someone who likes to know a lot of people and has potentially worked with many people. Do you think that's potential he worked with Ace in the past?
I think that would be cool, and I think maybe whenever is it Axum?
Arvox.
Arvox. After Arvox says your name, Grant might
Sort of clicks.
adjust, I guess, if he has some glasses and say, "Why, Ace? I thought that sounded like your voice. How have you been, friend?"
You know me, I go where the wind blows. I like to play with fate, and just so happened, fate brought me here.
Yeah, and I got an invitation as well, but who invited you exactly? Because it kind of came as a surprise to me. I'm not a fan of the opera so much.
Now, Mr. Douglas the Seventh, you know good and well that I was not invited.
You are a sly dog, Ace. Have you met my friend here, Ezekiel?
My eye will glance over. I have not. My mage hand will extend towards you. Ace Harrison.
Ezekiel.
You can go by that name if you want.
Excellent. That's what I want other people to know me as.
Cool.
Ezekiel?
No.
Oh.
Something worse.
Okay.
Something worse.
Something worse. That's funny.
Nice. Pleasure to meet you, Ace.
And Ezekiel,
sorry, go ahead.
no, Ezekiel, you have a pretty unique appearance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Among space ruffians. It is entirely possible that both Grant and Ace have heard of your moniker, so they know you, but they don't know you.
Okay, so then the moniker would be the Onyx Blade, and Ezekiel he's a mercenary for fun instead of payment.
Oh, I love this group so far. Sorry. I love that. He's for fun. I'm for information. Aggie just being a hot mess. And then there's
Aggie's
Grant
adorable.
with his celebrity status. Aggie's like, I'm going to put a pirate face on this person who probably could kill me.
And you all kind of see Aggie over in the corner, like, messing around on his data pad and just sort of, like, giggling to himself while he's there. And about this time, the lights start to flash.
Like flash in the sense where I'm a performer in real life. Flash is in.
You gotta
The
go take
performance
your
is about to
seats
start.
now.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
is the performance about to start? Or this is like a problem. Cool.
Oh, yeah, I guess that does make sense, huh?
Well, I just want to make sure. And seeing that, he will say, well, I'm sure we'll see each other very soon. I must get to my place. And I'm simply just going to just like walk and not vanish, but I'm so dark that like flashing, like he's there 1 second, it flashes, goes away, he's gone. He's already hidden somewhere else. And I'm literally just going to get to a good spot where I can see everything. Funny enough, I'm not really perceptive, but I'm just watchful. But I'm just getting to a good spot where I can just have options.
And you all have been, there's assigned seating. You all have been given seats up in the balcony boxes. So Ace, you have like a bird's eye view of that stage.
Perfect. That's exactly what I want. Thank you.
Now, before we go into this opera house, what's the snack situation? Is this a popcorn type event, or is this like a hors d'oeuvres, or?
It's one of those things where they take like pigs in a blanket and stuff like that, and they try and make it fancier by wrapping it in bacon. So over by the snack table that Aggie's at, there are like these beautiful little silver platters with all of these finger foods on them.
Oh yeah, Grant would like take his whole forearm as he's walking in and just scoop it into like a open large pocket on his long coat.
Okay.
And just fill it up with whatever that is.
Okay.
Because money has been tight lately.
Okay. Yeah. You smell like pocket dogs now.
Great. Oh, wonderful. What's Ezekiel up to?
Ezekiel checks the weapon on his hip and shifts it a little bit, looking around. You see he's like tapping his foot a little bit, almost like he's getting bored and antsy. And he takes a heavy sigh and goes to find his seat. And as he's heading to his seat, just because he's tired of keeping up an appearance, clicks the thing so that the mask covers again, and just under his breath, there better be fighting. And he'll go take his seat. And just watches and waits.
Aggie, are you making your way directly to your seat, or do you have more shenanigans you want to get into first?
So Aggie is like blissfully unaware for like a solid minute. And then as he realizes basically no one else is in this foyer,
Mm-hmm.
He then like kind of looks up, blinks a couple times, and then is like, and starts making his way to wherever he's supposed to sit. Now, are we ending up all sitting like in the same box, or?
I was just about to describe. So, you all are in separate opera boxes. So
Okay.
you can see each other, but you're not close enough to like chitty chat. And you're all in this second level of this opera house, and it is absolutely stunning in here. It is a testament to Terran architecture through and through. It looks like they've used a lot of the older techniques in terms of like the beautiful brocades that you see in the fabrics, and everything is like really high quality in here. And do any of you have any skills in performance?
What's up?
Ace, entering this room, you know that this is an architectural marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the performances that you've encountered have been bands in bars and things like that, and you've seen a lot of performers in a lot of different places, but upon entering this room, you are impressed with how much they've put into the quality of this opera house.
Okay.
And so as the four of you take your seats, you see the rest of the crowd is kind of funneling in from one place or another, and they're all taking their seats too. Now, there's only 250 guests invited for opening night, despite this room being big enough to hold several thousand. You see the folks that you've spoken to and that you took note of out in the lobby all coming in and taking a seat. Grant, the young lady who is so fond of you, is sitting with her parents, but just like waving frantically up at you in your seat.
I wave as I look at my cracked advanced Nokia phone, and I'm scrolling at this Twitter timeline, I guess, of the with the mustaches and nose picking.
And you're like, what is this? And you see everybody funnel in. Everyone make me a perception check with advantage because of where you are sitting.
I shouldn't have got this high, but I got a 16.
Okay.
I swear to God, natural 20.
I did forget to mention that I have a little AI friend who is a holographic goldfish that kind of like floats around me and like that I interact with periodically.
Do you look like a goldfish in a big suit?
More. We don't officially have a description, but basically, yeah, a giant fish person in a suit.
Okay.
I always personally imagine dolphin-esque, but
Dolphin-esque.
That means you're smiling all the time. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Grant, Ezekiel, what did the two of you get on your perception checks?
I got a 13.
13?
23.
23. All right. Ace and Ezekiel, you guys notice that as Chesterfield Cornswallow, the real estate guy, is coming in, as he's walking in, he's done up very well in this nice like tuxedo, and like very well coiffed, except there's red dirt on his boots and just like the very cuff of his pant leg, and he's bending over as he's walking in, like trying to brush it off, but it's not working. It's that like desert kind of dust, that clay dust that's really, really red and almost dyes fabric. So you do take note of that as he's taking his seat. But Marcus Intwell and his now completely sloshed wife Bitsy make their way in and find seats. And, Antona 45L comes in with her squad, as it were, and they all have a seat. And so Arvox comes in and has a seat. You notice a couple of other folks who you may or may not recognize. There's a dwarven gentleman looking very nervous, sort of closer to the front of the opera house, like tapping his fingers together and just sort of watching everyone funnel in and take their pieces and places. And Grant, you know this person. This is Tannen Foss. He is a masterful manager for a lot of well-known personalities.
An agent.
Yeah, an agent. He's also Axiomenthes' best friend and the person who put up the money for the whole opera house, the whole shindig. So you've probably interacted with him on some level. On stage, there's an Aviara young lady with beautiful golden feathers, sitting there plucking away at a harp as everyone sort of takes their seat. Just testing out chords and the acoustics in the room, but it is beautiful to listen to. And once everyone sort of sits down and gets cozy, the lights flash a couple more times, and then the house lights lower and a spot comes up on stage, and Axiomenthes walks out from stage left. Everyone applauds. You guys can choose if you do or not, or if you're just sitting there judging as she makes her way across the stage.
I see everyone else applauding.
And as far as arias go, this is a masterpiece performed by two masterful artists. think Plava Laguna, like that kind of scene that actually inspired this whole thing.
Nice.
And she's just belting and wailing while this harpist keeps up with her chord for chord. And it's funny that this is the aria she's chosen, because it actually comes from a space opera about a displaced youth who has no home and who is traveling the universe trying to find a place where he fits in. So it's very on brand for the evening. And as she sings out the final note of this aria, a single tear is going to roll down her cheek. She'll reach up and just kind of grab her throat for a second and collapse on stage.
Like collapse? Like dead collapse?
You don't know at first. But it takes a minute. Because everyone was so entranced by the song, they weren't quite sure what was happening there. They thought it might have been part of the act at first. But they go, the Tannenfoss runs across the stage with an orcish gentleman who none of you have seen before, and they drop to their knees at her side, and you can see they're like checking for signs of life and things like this, and people in the house seats are now like kind of sitting up and standing and trying to take note of what's happening, and everyone looks very concerned.
Is anybody down there from where we can see at the top, is anybody like slowly trying to back out?
Make me a perception check.
Oh, okay. So again, I'm not really perceptive. I was really shook at that natural 20. That's a 16.
That's still enough to notice. No one is backing out and leaving, but there are a few individuals who aren't behaving the way that you thought they would. A lot of Antona 45L's crew is just kind of sitting there, and actually, if you look close enough, she's almost smirking right now. But Tannenfoss rises from Axiomenthes' side, and confused, he has a piece of paper in his hand. And he walks over to where the microphone is. Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you that Axiomenthes is dead. It seems that a grave crime has been perpetrated this evening. We'd like to ask everyone to return to their cabins and let us get this figured out before anyone departs. We'll be closing down the shuttle bay. We appreciate your patience while we try and figure out what's happened.
I'm going from my box. I'm going to take out. There's probably like a two of clubs, I'll say.
Okay.
And I'm going to write something on it. I'm going to fold it 2 times, and then like in a puff of smoke is going to disappear.
Okay.
And it's actually going to appear either in front of Ezekiel, like fall right in front of Ezekiel, or if he has a hand open, it's going to appear in your hand as I cast Cryptogram.
I'll do the open hand.
And it's just going to say Antona ... which is 8. I believe that's 8 characters. And you know, folks know who has worked with Ace or have heard of Ace, you know that like cards are his thing. Period.
And so. All of you have probably heard of Ace, whether you realized it or not. And Ezekiel, you receive this message, and you're kind of scanning the crowd to presumably try and find Antona to see what the heck this is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, before you head back to your cabins, there are a number of individuals that it appears Axiomenthes wanted to investigate her murder. If these individuals would join us, it would be greatly appreciated.
Gotta get out of here. I say as I'm dropping shrimp.
Grant Douglas the 7th.
Damn it.
The Onyx Blade. Ace Harrison. Agrius. This is smear. Agrius.
You see the goldfish do like the Metal Gear Solid like exclamation mark above its head, and then immediately switches to like a question mark. And as Aggie starts like looking around,
Galanos, Agrius Galanos. If you four would join us on stage, everyone else return to your cabins. We'll get this sorted out soon.
How far a drop is it from the balcony to the ground?
About 25 feet.
Oh, that's fine. It
looks like this could be fun.
And then I'm just gonna jump down.
Give me an acrobatics check.
Deal. I'm good at that one. Oh my god, I'm way better at that one than I thought. 26.
Yeah. What does this look like? Because I'm imagining some flair here.
It's like that over-the-top anime moment where he like leans over the balcony and then just leaps over and does a little bit of a spin. And as he's going down, the cloak is going up, and you can see that there is like black armor with a gray silver lining all across his body, chest, and head.
Okay.
And there is what looks to be a large hilt of a blade on his right hip, actually. And then he kind of just slams into the ground in that weird like and then just slowly starts walking towards the stage, not even paying attention to anyone else around him watching.
You all saw that, and it was real flippin' cool.
Ace. I mean, if he knows, and he knows of some things that the Onyx Blade can do, he's not surprised. But what you see is he flicks out another card that's the Queen. And there's something in her hand that almost looks like a rope or something, a hook, unsure. But literally from the card, a hook shot comes down. And I literally hook my shot down towards the ground as I cast Phantom Hook Shot that gets me 30 feet to where I need to go.
Are you aiming like for the stage, or are you aiming just at the ground kind of a little?
I'm just gonna go straight to the ground and then walk for it, you know.
So Ezekiel does his like superhero landing, and he's like ready to go, good for battle, like let's do this. And then Ace sort of just like whoosh, like quick as lightning sticks his landing on the ground floor. Grant and Aggie, you see these two things happen. Grant, how would you be behaving?
Seeing as I just had a mess of shrimp, I'm gonna be taking the stairs.
Are you hustling or just kind of like?
No, I'm taking my sweet
Okay.
time. I'm finishing that pocket out, turning it inside out, and thinking about how cool Ace and Ezekiel are, and be like, man, if I hadn't eaten all that shrimp, I would have totally looked so cool. I think.
Damn
maybe.
you, shellfish.
Yeah.
Aggie, what about you?
So Aggie sees them do their thing and just like, oh, jeez, and then gets up and like awkwardly, slowly makes his way, down the stairs through the concert hall. Probably bumps into Grant. Oh hi, and
Oh, hey there. Were you one of the names that were called?
yeah, Agrius. You can call me Aggie.
Maggie, nice to meet you. I'm Grant.
Good to meet you. Murder, huh?
And I looked down at the shrimp in my hand. I was like, no, I wouldn't eat. No, and I put them back in. No, not murder.
No, I tripped too. That's the person on we're investigating apparently.
Oh yeah. I thought that was part of the show for the longest time.
Yeah. I'm definitely not. This wasn't how I thought my day would go.
Well, I didn't quite know. And I'll just keep walking down probably what is a carpeted stairway or
And
something. I don't know, space carpet?
Space
Future
carpet. Carpet in space. Zero gravity carpet. And as Eggy and Grant kind of like make their way up the aisles, people are funneling out of that space, and everyone looks very worried going back to their cabins, kind of whispering to each other about Axia Mentis is gone, and how could this happen? And she was such a good person, and you just hear all of that on the way back up to the stage. And Ace and Ezekiel, you guys probably arrive a few moments before the others, but Tenon is standing exactly where he had been when he made this announcement, just looking shocked, just white as a ghost, and it would be hard to tell, but his mustache, which is usually very fluffed up and like well coiffed, is just sort of like in a cartoon. It's sort of gone sad and limp as he's standing there. Meanwhile, the orc is still hunched over by the body, and he kind of looks up and he goes, "Why would she ask people to investigate her own murder? That doesn't make any sense."
Actually, it makes perfect sense. She
It's
knew
because
go for
she
it.
knew she was going to die.
Well, if she knew she was gonna die, how come she didn't avoid it?
Sometimes the grand design doesn't mean saving yourself. Sometimes it's for the better good. I can tell you right now, I wouldn't be letting myself die personally. But Axia Mentis is a performer. Got to go out with a bang, right?
And Tenon will kind of turn around again numbly and kind of say, "No, Ux, she saw this coming. It makes more sense now, what she told me earlier."
So what you're saying is, you could have prevented this and didn't.
Well, I didn't know she was planning on dying. With everything she's doing right now, she's been getting death threats for months. Aggie and Grant, you guys will probably come up right about this time.
Well, that sounds to me like an important piece of evidence.
hi.
Hi. I'm sorry. You guys are the ones that were on the list?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, if today
I'm
has,
shocked too.
if today has taught me anything, it's that Axia had a lot of things going on that she never told me about. Ux, can you tell what happened? And he's still kind of trying to like look over her body and figure out what's going on there.
Could I bend down and kind of look at it? Figure out. I guess I'm not like some medicine man. I mean, I'll do a medicine if you want me to, but I'm just trying to figure out simple stuff. What about? Like, is there anything coming out of her mouth? Is it poison? Like, how is things of that nature? What's going on?
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Investigation.
Investigación.
No, that's an 11 with a +9.
You can tell she's dead.
Yep.
Super dead. Super dead. Probably not natural. Because looking at her, you can tell she's still pretty young. Looks to be pretty fit.
I guess get up and I turn around. Well, she died. We'll figure that part out.
I'll try. And Aggie will look down and he's like kind of like consulting with the goldfish as he looks and examines things and does some scans with some devices he had in his pocket. And I'll roll that investigation check.
Do it.
And that is a why can't I math right now? 13 plus 9, 22.
You can also tell that she's dead. However, you looking at this corpse, you see sort of a trail of foamy spittle, and sort of a few burst capillaries surrounding her eyes. And you know this to be a poison of some kind. A fast-acting poison.
I don't know what poisoned her or how she got poisoned, but if you look here, and like the fish has like a little like pointer stick that it's materialized and is pointing at the different things as Aggie's talking about it. You can tell that is clearly a poison of some kind because of these things.
Ux is gonna kind of like swat at you. Have you no respect for the dead? Honestly, Tenant, I don't know why these guys were chosen, but they don't seem to have a whole lot of idea what they're doing. How did you guys get in here?
So I told you that it was poison, and you tell me that I don't know anything?
Seem pretty experienced to me.
Okay, fine, but I could have told you that was poison. I could have.
With what evidence would you have gathered? Just a guess?
Tenant, what are they doing here?
Can I look at her tongue?
Yeah, give me an investigation. Well, no, you don't need to do that to look at her tongue. You can just look at her tongue. It is bright blue.
Okay.
Her circulation is shot.
So her tongue is bright blue from circulation, but it doesn't look discolored from anything she consumed, per se.
No, she doesn't have like Jolly Rancher tongue or anything.
Okay. I'm basically trying to determine if I can figure out how the poison was administered.
Okay.
Like if it was something she ate, if it was something that someone like injected into her and made her have issues breathing.
Let's say that rather than look at her tongue to try and see if she swallowed anything, would it be safe to say that if you thought she had possibly been injected, you were looking for puncture marks?
Yeah.
Okay. And her arms are exposed. She's just sort of wearing a simple shift dress, and looking at her flesh, everything seems normal there. There's nothing amiss, which kind of makes sense because you got to figure if you're gonna get injected with something, you probably see that needle coming, right? Tenon will sort of shake from his off for a moment. I'm so sorry. Will you all come with me? I think I need to show you guys something. Oops, can we use your office? Great. And he'll just sort of like rush off stage left back to one of the behind the scenes rooms.
And this is Tenon is who again?
Tenon is the manager for Axiomenthes. Lifelong friend. Like you rarely ever saw the two of them apart when she was making public appearances. And he also put up all the money to build the opera house.
Okay, and the orc. Who's the orc?
The orc, no one has asked.
And he's the one who's been complaining.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I was gonna say, and then who exactly? No, that's not it. And who exactly are you?
Oops. Security.
Security. The one whose literal job it is to protect those.
Well, look, I can't keep an eye on everybody at once. I wasn't told that there was gonna be a murder. I don't plan for stuff like this.
Well, Ooks, it is your job to plan for stuff like this. But listen, we're not here to take your job or anything. What we just want to know is We want some nice conversation here, some cooperation, so we can figure out that why this poor innocent person was poisoned in such a way.
Ooks don't know nothing. Tenon knows everything. Go with Tenon. Stupid second day on the job. I can't believe crap like this happens. He'll just sit there mumbling to himself for a minute.
Does he actually not know anything?
Make me an insight check.
No.
Just to clarify, is Luke's security for
Security for the Allegra.
the Opera House?
Yep, the whole
Okay.
Opera House. He's head of
Gotcha.
security. Ace, even if you rolled a nat 1, you get the sense from your brief interaction with Ooks that he is not smart enough to lie his way through life.
Valid.
This poor gentle soul couldn't tell a lie if he tried.
Okay. I mean, wasn't that one, but it was pretty damn low. But okay. Seeing that, I'll just simply say nothing and walk towards the area that Tenon went.
Okay. Are you all hanging out with Ooks, or are you going with Tenon?
Tenon. Ook seems not smart.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow the group.
So Tenon has led you back behind the stage to a small, cluttered office. There's piles of paper everywhere. There's like half-built metal detectors and all of this stuff. And there's a tag on the door that says security as you guys walk in. And Tenon is just kind of sitting there, just nervously. If I had known, I would have. I wouldn't have even opened the Opera House today. I had no idea. Axiomanthes has been getting threats since this whole Blue Springs ordeal began. It's no surprise that a lot of people were trying to get their hands on that planet. Axia is supposed to go before the Stellar Council in a couple of days to speak on behalf of the Nautilids.
Would have been nice.
Oh, we were trying. And in fact, a lot of her enemies are here tonight. We wanted to show them how important this project was and how much it meant to so many people. It had to have been one of them.
What would have killing Axiomanthes done for them?
Well, Antona recently tweeted this, and I pull up, like, on my own personal profile, just the tweet from Antona. That was totally not me.
That doesn't seem like something she would do. Well, you've seen Axiomanthes speak. She's well respected. People like her. She's a powerful ally.
And now she's a martyr.
Well, yeah, but there were only 250 people here. Aren't you supposed to have like a crowd, like a following?
If you're saying she's as respected as you think, her being killed won't look good for anyone. Especially anyone trying to now get this land for themselves.
Unless, of course, someone convinces people that the death was due to something else.
It's possible. Look, there are a lot
They'll
of people.
blame it on a rabid fan.
Well, certainly, we'd know if someone like that was here tonight, right? We guest list. The guest list was checked personally by her. She would know if those people were showing up.
Oh, speaking of which, do you have the guest list? Could we see that?
It's our general manager has it. I'll make a call real quick, and he sort of turns away from you and picks up a little communication device off the desk. And can you send Percy in? Percy, can you come to Ooks's office as soon as you can? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Percy will be here in a minute. He'll be able to get all that for you. Right now, they're trying to make sure that everyone is still on the satellite. We can't find one of the waiters. He's disappeared. So we're looking for him to. It has.
A waiter disappeared.
Well, yeah. They were done for the evening. It's not unheard of for them to go home early, I guess.
Are you this dense, or you just don't want to admit what happens around you?
My best friend just died. Excuse me. She chose the four of you to investigate her murder for God knows what reason. The only one here that I know of who even has a portion of the skill to pull this off is the Onyx Blade, and that's only because I've heard all kinds of stories.
While he's talking, my mage hand is going to be around him, attempting to pick something out of his pocket.
Make me another sleight of hand check.
If I may, then. The reason she probably picked us. Oh my God.
Swear to God.
The reason she probably picked us is because we are the least related to all of this social nonsense. And she might have known she was going to die. It doesn't mean she knew who it was. That still doesn't mean it wasn't someone she knew. You can send a death threat anonymously. You do that to put fear into them. That it makes them weak. That it makes them foolish. And then they make mistakes. And then when people make mistakes, they die.
Ezekiel, as you're saying this, Tenon is like locking eyes with you. Like, you're the only one here who he like knows just from sight. So he's fascinated and enthralled by what you're saying, and like he believes that you are the key to finding out who killed his friend. As he's like locked eyes with you, stuff just starts flying out of his pockets. And Ace, you end up with like a really fancy pen and a giant wad of cash, like some good pocket money.
Okay.
What was the...
Look, here. And he turns around a screen of a monitor that's sitting on Ux's desk, and it's obvious that Ux has been using this computer as like a paperweight for as long as it's been here, because he just, bless his heart, it's covered in dust.
No.
And Tenon's like, and he starts typing away on the keyboard, and he pulls up a picture of Antona, 45L, and then a picture of Arvox, followed by pictures of Chesterfield Cornswallop, the real estate tycoon, and then finally Marcus Intwell, the Benthwaite CEO, who was walking around with his drunk bimbo wife.
What was that name?
Marcus Intwell.
And he's the what? Sorry, CEO.
He's a CEO of Benthwaite Enterprises, which is a resource company. They do like lumber and things like that.
What was the name of the missing waitress again?
Percy.
Well, Percy's my general manager. We
Oh.
don't know which waiter's missing. They just kind of pick up new staff for special events. We aren't technically opening yet, so it's not a staff I'm familiar with. We're trying
Percy
to
know?
Maybe it's possible.
Did you get Percy?
Well, he's on his way. He's trying to find the gentleman right now, I believe.
Can you call Percy real quick?
Well, I just did, but you don't need to pay attention to Percy right now. The waiter's probably just out smoking or something. Pay attention to these four. These four are the ones who are going to profit the most from that island not going back to that planet, not going back to the Nautilids.
Have you ever heard of a red herring?
So,
if not, I just want you to know that you're correct. It could be one of those four, but we shouldn't rule out everyone, including you and Percy. So I'm going to make sure I do my best to figure out exactly what those four are up to. But you're not ruled out. Percy's not ruled out. Quite frankly, none of these three are ruled out either. Though I highly doubt they had anything to do with it.
Also, the waiter might not be the mastermind, but could be the metaphorical smoking gun.
That's right. No one shot her. I don't.
Metaphorical.
Oh,
Could be the person that did the poisoning hired by one of these four people that you have on the screen here.
Fine.
Because if I had that much money, I wouldn't do it myself. I would pay someone if I had enough money to buy a house on every planet.
So you're really gonna sit here and tell me how you would murder someone when my best friend was just murdered? And as soon as Tannen finishes that, a gnome, a frantic gnome, is going to burst through the doorway. Ah! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Who are you?
The investigative team.
Who? Did we hire an investigative team, Tannen? No, Percy. This was something Axiomenthes apparently planned. Did you find that waiter? Yeah, he's having a little bit of an episode though. He's really freaking out. He says he was told to give a drink to Axiomenthes while she was on stage, and well, you know.
What's their name?
Matthias.
Last name?
I don't know. I only hired him for the night. He's right outside if you want to go talk to him.
Yes, please.
Oh, there's something else that you all should see though. Well, I was looking at the security footage because, you know, a crime's been committed. And and he'll go over to the same computer that Tannen was just using, and he'll pull up a little video clip that shows a cloaked figure entering one of the guest rooms and then emerging. The timestamp shows that it was just a couple seconds really later. That's Axia's room. That's definitely not her. This was 3 hours ago.
What's the room number?
304.
Didn't you get a room? Didn't you get a room number?
Yeah.
Does it match?
I have Arvox's room number. And what would that be?
947.
Well, I think that maybe if we get this guest list, maybe we should mosey on up there before somebody has a chance to clean that place up.
Well, do you think it'll help find her murderer? I always liked Axia. She was always really nice to me.
Well, criminals often are really nice. At first.
I smile at Grant.
You all are very unsettling.
I'd say we're very nice.
Percy
At
will
first.
flee the room.
I look at the group. If you all want to go over to Ax's room, I'm actually going to pay my friend Arvox a little visit. Though it won't be me.
I think that sounds good.
I'm gonna talk to the waiter and then I'll catch up. Here's my comm number, and gives y'all his contact information.
Well, Grant, I suppose it's just you and I then. Where are we going?
Well, I reckon we could split up, but we could follow them. I don't know. I don't like the idea of splitting across in moments like this.
I I don't like the idea of any of you being left alone right now. For me, for the sake of everything that Axia and I were trying to accomplish, do you think you might stick together? Just... It'd be safer that way, especially since there's a murderer on board, and for all I know, it could be one of you.
That's true.
I simply want to get information and I'll be done. However, if you really truly believe we should be together...
Axia did, and her word's good enough for me.
We can just wait outside wherever you're going, Ace.
Yeah, we'll give you your
If
privacy.
you prefer, yes, to be alone.
Since Matthias is right out there, can we stop at him first and then do the thing at the place?
I
Shouldn't
mean, if we
take long.
approach Matthias now, won't it be even more suspicious?
I just need to get some personal information so that I can run some checks.
Thinking isn't my strong suit. I just stab things until they die. So I'll follow your lead for whatever you like.
It's like me, and then I pull back my coat. I'm like, except I shoot things till they die.
And
So you're all murderers?
So
Tenon
Yeah,
is
but I don't use
horrified
poison.
behind the desk.
the goldfish, because there is like kind of that that scuba face mask, so it's hard to see his face, so he relies on his fish a lot to kind of emote, and you see as the onyx blade starts talking, the eyes on the goldfish just kind of like start getting bigger and wider, with just a twinge of concern.
Have you guys ever seen something like this before? Ezekiel, Grant, Ace? This weird little, like, fish companion thing that he's got going on?
Ace has been around and seen a lot. This isn't something he's phased about. I'm not saying he's seen this before, but he's seen like things.
I mostly feel bad for eating all that seafood.
That's actually funny. Guy gets ordered some shrimp too.
And you probably saw Aggie at some point like take a shrimp and drop it down and like look up in his diving helmet and bite it before closing his helmet back up.
Dinner with the Nautilin must be extra weird. So the four of you kind of hear shuffling out in the hallway, presumably where Matthias is sitting outside, and Tenon is just kind of like, okay, all right, I'll tell you what. If the four of you can help me figure this out, I can't just outright pay you to do criminal investigations, because technically that's what police are for, but the alliance that created the Arpeggio will owe you. Will owe you big. Will owe you, like, a ship, a permanent job, I don't know. But I need to know what happened to Axia.
And I would just be happy with, people continuing to push forward with...
I mean, we that's what all this has been for.
Yes, I'm just saying if we solve it, that would be my ask.
You might have to speak to the council, though. I'm not much for words.
Yeah, words. I'm great in public speaking. And just the thought of it, like he starts kind of just, stumbling over his words.
Aggie gets all tongue-tied talking about the future.
Mm-hmm.
So are we going to talk with your waitress friend or not?
Yes, let's do that. That sounds far more, yes.
So the four of you step outside of the office, and immediately off to your right, there's a Terran, a human, leaning against the wall, hyperventilating. You guys are the investigators. You're searching for what happened. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to poison her.
Just your first and last name, please.
Is it Matthias Eats?
I'm doing a quick Spoogle search for Matthias Eats.
You see nothing of note. He's just a dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's very young, sort of fresh-faced. This is probably his first time, like, out in the verse, away from his homeworld, for this job, and his first day is not going according to plan.
So, I'm gonna, grab from his social media profile his space email, and then I'm gonna, hack into his space email, see if there's been any kind of communications anywhere. Basically, just trying to quickly clear this kid to make sure that no one's contacted him for nefarious or suspicious things.
Make me one of your fancy technology-based checks.
All right.
I do appreciate the fact that because this is dark matter, we're just putting space in front of whatever it is we're trying to do and making that canon. That's good shit.
If I need to order something real quick, I'll hop on Spamazon, and if I need to look something up, it's Spoogle, and
if any of you have ever wondered how much effort goes into writing RPGs, remove all doubt now.
So 23 on my data. But yeah, no, it's these are not canon things, but they're things that I will bring up in every campaign I play in because I'm silly.
Good. Ezekiel, this kid is terrified. Standing here talking to Aggie and seeing the four of you. Up until a minute ago, this guy was probably the one serving the shrimp cocktails that Grant is so fond of. But this is one of those golden opportunities that you recognize just to scare the piss out of someone while you're interacting with them.
Someone is trying to frame you for murder because they think that you are worth less than the plate that they were actually eating off of.
Murder? I didn't murder anyone.
Shut up.
I didn't.
Not done. Someone is trying to frame you for murder because they think that you are less vital and less have a value than their silverware. So if you can help us figure out who did it, then maybe you will last longer than the fork they were using.
Kid, I got a question. I leaned real close. I said, "You ever heard of the Onyx Blade? Chop a dozen men in half in one swing? What if I told you that's him? You wouldn't want to lie to him now, would you?"
He's weeping. This kid is sobbing. Aggie, you find the most boring bullshit ever. You find like a couple recipes that he's exchanged with distant relatives and maybe some pictures from a birthday party he went to a couple months ago, but just boring. Boring Matthias.
Fair. Well, his information, like I've actually got like multiple like hollow screens that are just kind of like popping up with like his emails and social media profiles and like everything. And so he like sees me like pulling all this up. Congratulations. And then I just kind of swipe and it all goes away. I've cleared you. You've clearly not been in communication with anyone.
Look, some guy came up and handed me a drink.
Yeah,
and he told me to give it to her. And I did, because that's my job.
Yeah, that's... Congratulations. You are innocent. I have proof in all of this. And then the data appears back again before he closes it.
That's private property!
Would you prefer to be accused of murder?
The tears aren't necessary. What we need to know is, I just said that the tears aren't necessary. And my mage hand is going to fleck out and literally wipe a tear from his face. Now, who gave you the drink?
I don't know, it was another waiter.
Where?
There. And he'll just kind of point out to the foyer.
You've never seen this waiter before. You say it's your first day, however, you trust the first waiter you see?
Well, we're all wearing uniforms. Why wouldn't I trust him? I didn't expect anyone to hand me a poisoned drink.
It's actually pretty fair alibi, personally.
Would you recognize them if you saw them again?
Probably. He wasn't real attractive. He had a scar right here. a waiting accident, I guess.
I look over at Aggie. You like technology? Can you hack into a camera? This is a very expensive opera house that has to be an open communication.
I can't hack into a camera per se, but I could hack into the mainframe where the footage from a camera is recorded, and then I could grab a picture from the database of the recording, and then I could run facial recognition.
We could ask. You're correct.
We could literally just ask, and then if someone tries to hide it, they're suspicious.
Do we want to check?
I see you
rooms,
are
or
a
do we wanna check
head-on
the-
person.
Yes, because heads come off when people don't act.
You are terrifying.
Yeah, that's why
I
get paid.
personally like to grab as much as I can from said head before head comes off.
So,
Yeah, that poor kid.
He's never leaving home again.
where do we want to look next? The cameras, the rooms. There's a lot.
Ace wanted to see somebody.
I just want to notch one of the main four off. And we know that Arvox has some issues. So yeah, I want to head over to Arvox's place. Arvox's room.
Well, so the room number that you got, you don't know if that's his room. You just know that's the room number you got from him.
Exactly. I don't. And once I'm heading, once we're done here, sorry, excuse me. Hey, how well is Tenon known?
In what capacity? Because he's...
Do people know that he's associated with Axiom?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I am going to. I really don't care if the kid sees it, but I assume we're probably heading out. I'm going to take out one of my jokers that I have. I'm literally going to toss it into the air, and it's going to spin, enlarge, and then kind of like it's float down upon me. And as it floats upon me, I shift into Tenzin as I cast Disguise Self using one of my cards to do so. And I'm going to. I said Tenzin. Wow. I'm going to.
Meant.
Yeah, you know. And I want to go to the door as Tenon to see who answers.
Okay.
So I want to do this separated from people, so I'm not.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you're doing this before you walk away from Matthias?
I'll do it after. I don't want him to see that I'm turning into.
Okay, good, because you've broken this poor child's brain. So you all kind of, you all sort of leave Matthias as a shattered puddle of human being, crumpled up on the floor of this hallway that you interrogated him in.
We give him a tip first.
He does not acknowledge anything, right? He's still like wailing. He's having problems right now. Congratulations. I hope you're happy.
I pat him on the head as we're leaving and go, "It's not your fault," and you just walk off.
So the four of you kind of leave and start heading towards room 947, and when Ace pulls out this Joker and kind of pulls this elaborate disguise maneuver with the card, it clicks. Even if you didn't realize that he was the Ace Harrison, now you get it. And Ezekiel, if you hadn't noted the thing before, the card, and maybe where it came from, you hadn't connected those two dots, now it's like, oh, okay. All right, I got it. It's, yeah.
And once I get to the door, I kind of like straighten up myself, kind of take on Tenon's appearance and personality, and I just kind of hello.
Are the rest of you with him, or are you hanging back?
I think we're like sitting down the hall, or I am at least, because Ace said he wanted to kind of do this on his own.
Yeah, so be hanging back.
Okay. Arvox will come to the door and no, I take that back. A heavy pull on the door leaves you eye level to the chest of a fully armored orc. Yeah.
I'm looking for our Vox. I would like to ask some questions if he doesn't mind.
No entry, and he'll slam the door.
I'm going to knock one more time.
He opens the door. Yeah.
My apologies. I don't have to enter, but I would love to speak to him. And unfortunately, this is a pressing matter, so I really cannot take no for an answer.
No, he's not here right now.
Where can I find him?
Not here.
Then where is not here?
Boss don't tell us nothing.
You work for Arvox.
Sometimes.
Who do you work for when you're not working for Arvox?
Anyone who pays.
So if I paid you, you'd work for me?
Right now I'm working for Arvox. He looks very confused, just like...
How much is he paying you? I take out the wad of cash I got from actual tenant. If I give you this, can you tell me where Arvox is, please?
I don't know. And he'll reach for the money.
It will come back for a second. If he is not here, then would you mind if I come in? I just want to look for some things, just to make sure.
And he closes the door, softer this time for a second. You hear him mumble through it. And a very similar voice answers. And they go back and forth for half a second. Then the door opens again. Boss be back later.
But what if I want to come in now?
No.
Okay. I'm going to yeah, I'm going to force dart him in the head, attempting to knock him out. Just knock him cold. What I would like to do.
Cool.
I'd like, yeah, literally, I guess like, okay. And the other hand comes up, just boom. Attempt to.
Is that an attack
It's an attack roll. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask everybody to roll for initiative right now. Since we're doing this.
He really wants to know what's in Arvox's room, and the
That's
fact
fair.
that they're not opening it.
You know, I
He's
get
going
it.
to.
I get it.
Why did I just do that? Like,
18 for me.
nice.
Oh no, I might
That's
have...
a.
Buy dice. Buy dice. Hold please. I broke the cardinal rule of D&D and I don't have a pencil handy. I also just dropped my dice, so that's probably why they roll so shitty for me.
LOL.
Alright, so I have... It was an 18 for Ezekiel?
Yep.
Okay. Aggie?
I apologize. Ace is definitely on the neutral side of things. He's like, well, okay, well. Sorry, go ahead.
Aggie?
Oh, I just wasn't sure if we were close enough or not to know that things are going down.
You can discern that this conversation is not going the way that
Okay.
Ace planned.
Okay. I got a 13 then.
13? Grant?
I have a 15.
I assume your dex is higher than mine. You're a gunslinger.
Mine's at 20.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I got a 15 as well, so I'll go after him. BRB food.
Okay. Okay. Actually, this is a good point in time for us to take a break, so Omega can shove some food in his face before he tries to shoot this guy in the head, and everybody can get in a bio break. Does that sound good? Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going
Sounds
to
great.
kick this over to BRB, and we'll do 10 minutes. welcome back. We are at the top of combat. Ace, what did you roll for that attack?
No, that is important, right? To actually do the thing that you said you were going to do.
You know, it helps me help you.
A little bit. The Bible said it is. Yep. So there. I have to do two different. I mean, no, that's a lie. I do one. That is math. A 19 to hit.
A 19 will hit.
Okay.
And you said you were trying to knock him over?
I'm kind of going to knock him out. Like, you know, like, and that's why I use a 4-star as force damage. I'm attempting to just hit, like, his temple.
Sure.
So that's my intent. If he doesn't get knocked out, that's fine. But he is, however, going to take... Would you consider... it's not that serious. That's 15... 30. Just checking one thing real quick. Don't want to do that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's 30 points of damage.
So what does this look like? Because right now you're Tenon standing there, this tiny little dwarf guy.
Yep. You see, and I have the wad of cash in this hand, and I say, oh, well, okay. And I just kind of reach behind and I grab and it's literally like a 2. And it like lights on fire, not on fire, like a bluish energy.
Okay.
And then it like just disappears as it just right into his head.
Okay.
And just so you know, I have a thing where though this is a ranged attack, I don't take a disadvantage when I'm doing ranged attacks in front of people.
Cool. It's rude. It's a rude thing. So you fire this energy, and it kind of hits him square in the head, and his eyes cross, looking at where he just got hit, and he'll rock forward, rock back, and then just whoomph, face down on the ground, unconscious in front of you.
I guess like sidestep. And I guess look, the person in the room doesn't know who I'm saying to, and I can say, I tried. In Tenon's voice.
You see in the open doorway beyond where this first orc was standing, there's another one who's standing there with like half a sandwich in his hand. What'd you do that for?
He wouldn't let me in. Will you let me in?
He's too dumb to realize what's happened. Ezekiel, you are up, my friend.
I don't know what the hell to do here. So I hear fighting.
You're only about 15 feet away. Like, you can see this.
And I saw Ace instigate it.
Yup.
Does Ace look like they're in danger, or just like the people just want them to leave?
I mean, he just kind of flicked his finger and this giant orc fell face first onto the ground. So he doesn't appear to be in danger, but he did just assault someone.
Okay, yes. Now my problem is Ezekiel has an on and an off switch. This doesn't seem like it's a point for the on switch to be on yet. So I'm just gonna wait and then hold some attacks if people start coming down this way and it escalates.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't think we're trying to kill anybody yet. And I'm like, just gonna stay here and wait. Just gonna wait it out.
Ezekiel, you kind of see this happen, and you take your hand, and like you're on the hilt of your sword, but you're like, ooh, and you're kind of like cringing watching all of this unfold in front of you.
Yeah, because I want to do it.
You want to murder, but but this is just not the time.
Still innocent right now.
Yeah. Grant, you also watch all of this occur, and you kind of see initially Ezekiel kind of like reaches for his hilt, but then stops himself and is just sort of like watching very intently as this is unfolding. What do you do?
Well, if you had just went in there and murdered, this would have been really easy. I would have went in there and just started shooting. But now you done make it hard. Okay, well, Grant is gonna... He pulls his long coat back a little bit and reaches to his nickel-plated 6-inch barrel Very Blaster and turns one of the cells to frost. So you see the whole cylinder kind of get that... as it crystallizes,
Like
and then he takes a few firm steps to the doorway, and pulls the pistol out as backup, doesn't pull the trigger, and tells them, "Freeze! Drop that sandwich." I said, "Drop it."
He'll place the sandwich.
No, don't place it down. You drop it. Now everybody stay nice and calm here. Didn't let my friend in, and we're gonna have to see how this plays out.
Not his room. Why would we let him in?
And that's my turn.
I'm like, I am the general manager of this place, so technically.
Okay, you don't have to hurt me. Is he gonna be all right?
I think you were muted, sir.
He's fine.
Come on in, I guess. And he's just gonna kind of back away from you, Grant. As much as an orc can't, like, he's huge, and this doorway, this entrance to this room was not built for someone his size, so even though he's backed all the way sort of against the frame of the door, there's like 6 inches of clearance for you guys to squeeze past him into the room if you still want to enter.
I'll put away my Very Blaster and say, well, thank you very much. And I'll step in, and I don't have a hat to tip. I should have got a hat. But I'll nod at Ace.
I don't want to go on a turn, so if you're still in turns, I'd rather.
No, we're not now.
Oh.
You knocked out his friend in one hit. He's very sad.
Sorry. And I just kind of tentatively walk in, and I'm still selling Bing Chitin. And I'm quite literally going to go through Arvox's stuff just to make sure that there's anything I can find. He clearly just wants to see if Arvox is clear of this meddling.
Okay. Make me an investigation roll.
Okay.
All three of you, really. Aggie, Ezekiel, and Grant. All three of you were sort of right there with him as he entered this room and just sort of started rifling through stuff. Are you going to help him, or are
I'll
you
use the
gonna...
help action to give him advantage.
Okay.
I'll just look.
That's good because that was almost a 2. That is
7.
26.
What was that, Ezekiel?
7.
Okay.
I love Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, you're like, yep, this is a real nice room. I'm just gonna investigate the mini bar real quick.
That works.
So the way that I'm helping Ace is my goldfish is essentially like swimming across the room and like tagging things and like lighting them up as Ace makes his way through the room.
You made your own plot points.
Yeah,
basically. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your total, Ace? I'm sorry.
26.
Okay. This room is just kind of a hotel room. In fact, looking around, you see that it's very lavish. Like, it's one of those things where it has its own private sitting area, and there's like an actual little desk, and a fireplace. Like, it's a beautiful hotel room, but it is, at the end of the day, a hotel room. You can see that there are bags that haven't been unpacked almost as if Arvox came, dropped off his stuff, told these two guys, hey, stay here until I get back, and then just left.
Okay.
So there's really nothing of note in here.
Good. Okay. And then I'll turn to the other orc and say, please tell your friend that he is innocent, and he will know what that means. Thank you. And I'm literally going to turn out, start to walk out, stop, turn again, take half of the cash from the wad, toss it to the one that's alive, with the one that's up, the money, and say, this is for your friend and you if you want some. Thank you for your cooperation.
I'm sorry about your sandwich.
It's real mean of you to make me put it down.
Yeah.
I'll just buy a new sandwich.
Yeah.
Get out.
As
Yeah.
Aggie leaves, Aggie grabs a pillow from the bed and puts it under the unconscious orc's head.
The conscious orc sees you do this, and thinking that his friend was actually dead in this process, he's like, oh, and then he starts kicking him. Wake up, Urg, wake up, it's time.
Ace is gone. Ace is walked.
So, Aggie, Ezekiel, and Grant, you all are kind of left holding the bag. Ace has already left the room and walked away, and now you're just watching one orc assault his friend who's unconscious in the doorway, trying to wake him up.
I am following Ace after I drop off, after I put the pillow under him. So I kind of look quizzically, and so does Fish, with kind of a question mark above its head as the kicking starts. But then he shrugs and just continues to waddle off after Ace.
Okay. Does Fish have a name? Does your fishy buddy have a name, or is he just Fish?
Well, it's technically F45H, but Fish. Oh, sorry, not F4.
Fash.
F1. F1.
Good old
4H.
Fash. Okay.
It should be called Fash. I like that.
Fash the fish.
Probably should.
Fash the fish.
Once we get far away, if they do follow, I will revert out of the disguise, and I will say, I don't typically do this, but I apologize. Did not expect this to go as left as it did. However, I needed to get information, and I got that information. So, we don't know where to start or go next.
Ezekiel and Grant, would the both of you make me insight rolls?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's now Fash the Fish, by the way.
Fash the
22.
fish.
Yeah, you sold me on it.
20 total.
Damn. Okay. The two of you, you were privy to enough of Arvox's conversation when he sort of interrupted you all at the bar. You know that even though he wasn't in his room, you're not really certain he's innocent. Like, there's still something about that was weird to you. So you all kind of take this empty room with a grain of salt as you're walking through, and you don't think that there was any misleading information that you were given by the orcs. You think that the boss wasn't there right now, and maybe he'll be around later, and there might be other stuff to learn from them, but you don't get the sense that you got the full story from an empty room.
I'd probably look at Ezekiel, and I feel like Ezekiel is the kind of person who can tell a lot from someone's eyes. We don't really need to say anything. We can just kind of lock eyes for a second, and we know what we mean. And then I would step over the poor pillowed gentleman on the ground.
Ezekiel, do you still have your helmet up? Yeah? Okay.
I was muted. Yes, I do.
Okay, Grant, you're trying to exchange this knowing look with Ezekiel, but you end up just kind of like staring at his helmet and you're like...
There's a nod.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the four of you are now out in the hallway, and you've already spoken to Matthias, the waiter who ended up accidentally handing Axia the poisoned beverage, and you've paid a visit to Arvox even though he wasn't there, but there's still another clue you all haven't investigated. There was the footage of the person entering Axia's room.
Do we want to check the footage or the room first?
I think it's up to y'all.
Footage seems to be more your style.
Oh, Ezekiel, you don't want to have fun too? We can go in and smash and dash if you wish. I personally don't mind.
Once I start, I will not stop. So
Who said you had to stop?
And you can... you see, like, his hands, like, flexing a little bit and then kind of, like, settle. And a deep breath. Because if we do footage first, then it leaves us to a last resort.
Well, by all means, let's find out what we can find from this footage. Yeah, start heading towards wherever that would be. Or does Aggie have like a way to like remotely do that? Or will we have to go to an area?
I'm going to assume that they have their information on their security systems on a closed server, so I'm assuming that I would need to actually go to a terminal that has access to the cameras.
Yes and no. So, yes, it is a closed server. However, Tenon knows that Axia wouldn't lead him astray. So the fact that she chose the four of you to look into her murder is very important to him, and he wants to fulfill her wishes. So he's given you remote access to most all of the systems and all of the information about all of the guests that he can.
Okay.
He didn't tell you he was doing this, but you find that if you go to type things into your data pad, you can pull up basically anything.
Okay. In that case, I'm immediately going to check a couple things. So there was the waiter with the scar that gave the person the drink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, pull up that footage, snag a photo of his face, see if I can run a reverse Spoogle search to, see if I can find any information. And then I, essentially reverse trace back the guy to where he came from. And then also I want to look at the footage of the person coming out of Axia's room and see if I can find where they came from and where they went as well.
Okay. So
which I know is a lot, but
it's not. But I will have you make me a data check. Just it won't be hard, but make me one.
Yeah. These Bard and Barbarian dice are just really wonderful. They're just rolling well for me. They're made of Indian, how do you say, agate, aquamarine, and hematite. Like, what other dice set comes with multiple gems? But anyways, they're just rolling real well for me. Got a 17 plus 9 for 26.
Math.
Mm-hmm.
So you are... It's really easy for you to pull up the footage from the party and to see the entire crowd, and you're able to pick out individuals. You can see everybody. You actually think you see footage of Ace flirting with some old woman while he heads over to the bar. It was a strange interaction to watch, but you're able to find the waiter that handed off the drink easily enough, and you're backtracking that footage. But it's strange. The waiter who handed him the tray, which carried only that beverage, it's almost as if he knew where the cameras were and made it a point to avoid them. He would either duck behind people or kind of like scratch his temple to avoid a clear view. So you get the sense that he knew exactly where the cameras were, and he knew exactly what he had to do to avoid them. However, the criminal who broke into Axia's room was not quite so clever. And you can backtrack that person all the way through the evening. So you reverse that footage and you see them recede from the hallway, and actually they emerged from the opera chamber itself. And if you follow the footage back far enough, you see the Aviara, Miss Ray, put on that cloak and head off to Axia's room. Now, this is an important question. If Aggie figured out who that person was, would he continue to backtrack the footage, or would he stop watching?
I think he would tag that part, but he would go back a little bit further just in case.
Okay.
Just because he knows that sometimes one image isn't enough to, tell the full story. Sometimes there's more going on. So he'll continue going back to see if there's anything else. And the way, as he's looking through this footage, he has it kind of like displayed again on a hollow screen so everyone else can see this.
I was going to say, can everyone else see this? So, Ace Ezekiel Grant, you see exactly what Aggie's been searching for. You see the Aviara harpist from the aria that you all just listened to. That she was the one who snuck out of the auditorium and actually broke into Axia's room. And as you back up the footage just a little bit further, Aggie, and continue to follow Miss Ray throughout the evening, you notice that at the party, she was awfully close to Antona 450. Dangerously close. Intimately close to Antona 450 at the party.
The whole time I'm just saying, enhance, enhance.
Great. Grant, I appreciate you were trying to help. And then he just kind of trails off there.
Grant, it every time you say enhance, the screen gets bigger and clearer. I don't know what the problem is.
It's Disney magic.
So do we all see the footage?
You all see this happen.
You all see it.
Yep.
Seeing that, my eyes shift over to Ezekiel. Remember what I put in your hand. Looks like we need to find this Vect.
Good.
I'm also saving this footage for use later.
Okay.
Of course.
Mm.
Can you find exactly where this Antonia is now? Antona. Beep boop, beep boop.
Yep. I go beep boop, and search the cameras to see essentially what Antona's been doing this tonight, and find where she is now.
Sure. Looking through the footage, she's not hard to spot because she always has at least 4 people with her.
Mm-hmm.
You see her at the party, exactly as she was, just hanging out, having a good time, having a few drinks. You do see her sort of roll her eyes in the middle of Axia's speech. And she did have some conversation with Miss Ray. But then you follow her as she goes into the auditorium, takes her seat, watches the aria, sees Axia collapse on stage, sort of knowingly smiles to herself. and then returns to her room, which is 428. And she's there right now, just hanging out. And again, you can all see this.
Well, then let's go pay her a visit, shall we?
Let's.
You can like, and then walk over to over to the house.
You all step on the moving platform as it carries you down the hallway. And you arrive at room 428, and it sounds like there's a party going on inside. There's music and loud voices. There's some laughter.
I look at Ezekiel and I say, "Is this when you make your appearance?"
And he kind of just cracks his knuckle and asks, "What sort of show would you like to see?"
You know, I've had enough of the operatic kind. Let's bump up the action.
He's just gonna walk right in.
Okay. The door is locked.
I'm gonna try it, and if it doesn't open, I'll open it.
You punish that door.
So, when Ace says that he's gonna, you know, it's action time, Aggie pushes a button on his suit, and another armored suit appears over his current suit.
A Russian egg doll with a fish in the middle.
Okay. Battle Aggie.
Go Aggie. Baggy.
Baggy.
And a drill appears where one of his hands was.
Okay, now you're just.
Oh, so okay,
That's impossible.
okay. Is there a little girl with you too?
You know, not yet.
So, wholesome, wonderful Aggie just turns into a battle bot right before your eyes.
He just became Big Daddy, is what he did.
Yeah, you did.
Alf.
So you watch this change occur, Ezekiel, as you recognize that the door's locked.
I'm gonna hit it as hard as I can.
With your fists?
With my foot.
With your foot? Make me a strength check.
All right.
Grant, what are you doing while he's trying to kick in this door?
Hold on, let me get my hat.
Oh my god.
I cannot.
You guys are I want this to be like a thing. I want to watch this show of investigators because
Why is he like this? This man had all this time to get this hat too, and he just didn't do it. All right.
Let's get this party started.
It's just a strength check?
Yep, just a strength check.
Oh god. Okay, so because I have a heavy frame from my fighter class, I get advantage on strength checks while wearing it. So let's do it. Oh, that's okay.
Fuck it up.
That's a 24.
Yeah, that door never saw it coming. You kind of like you see Grant put on his hat and like Aggie turns into a battle bot and you're like, okay, this is the time, and you kick in the door and I'm assuming you rush into the room.
Yeah. With my blade in hand.
So you rush into the room, blade in hand, and I'm assuming the others are following right behind you. And you take a few steps through the actual like hallway, and then the room opens up. And in the sitting area of this room is Antona 45L, a couple of her goons, and just a bunch of strippers, just like so many space strippers, and they're all near human variety, and there's just like there's anything under the sun that you could possibly imagine. And as soon as you come rushing into the room, Antona's like, well, now it's a party. Gentlemen?
As Aggie sees all of this, the fish gets some flush, like blushing cheeks.
Oh, Fash. Go ahead.
Two choices. One, you admit that you're a murderer or involved with one. Two, everyone else dies and then you admit it. Either way, I win. I prefer two, to be honest.
You are a strange individual. I'll tell you what. Can you put your sword away for 2 seconds?
I could, but I won't. Continue.
All right. Girls, get lost for a second. And she'll sort of shoo them away. And Antona will, look, I won't lie to you all. I was planning a murder for this weekend, but I didn't even have to. Someone else beat me to it. It was wonderful.
I undo my headset. So you were planning to kill someone?
Well, yeah.
You're planning to kill her?
Yeah.
Still. Do you know who beat you to it?
Well, no, but if I find out, I'm gonna send him a nice fruit basket.
You don't know anything.
Well, yeah. I know what I told Ray to do when she was poisoned, right?
Yes.
I don't work in poison. That's too subtle. Look, there are a lot of people who want Axia dead. She goes against the interests of everybody.
How many guards are here, would you say?
Not everybody.
I would have helped you for a pretty penny.
You said there were 2 guards, right? 3 guards.
3? I can probably kill 3.
You know you could. They're just automatons.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to ask the party, do you mind if I just kill all 3 of them? Because I am going to slice through them like they are butter. Unless you... I'm not gonna take out her, but I'm going to kill the automatons just to make a point.
You're not paying me.
Cool. Okay. I don't know if you would like me to roll initiative or if you want this to be a surprise. That's up to you.
I'll tell you what. The automatons have been imbibing themselves, which is strange for an automaton because technically they aren't supposed to have like that kind of drive. Yes. But these ones have been altered by Antona to be a little more personable and a little more attuned to her lifestyle. So make me 3 attack rolls with advantage. And I'll tell you what, if you hit all 3, you're gonna kill all 3. But if you miss one of them, you're gonna miss all of them.
That's fair. Okay, so the first one is a 22.
Yeah, that hits.
A 28.
Mm-hmm.
And a 24.
What does this look like? And you can, the way that this is set up is it's sort of a semicircular couch. And Antona 45L is sitting directly across from the entrance to the room. So she's staring you down. And the automatons are just sort of like sitting around her. There's 2 on one side and 1 on the other, just relaxing.
Probably running over, sliding, and as the beam cuts through the leg, he then hits the button so another blade comes out of the other side, and then he just cuts through one, a big like sweep into the chest of the other to cut him in half, and then basically like rolling over Antona to stab through the third one.
Those are expensive. Why would you do that? I told you I didn't know anything.
Because you were planning to do it anyways, and I didn't like that.
Well, I didn't. You just became a murderer. How do you feel?
I've been a murderer for years.
Well, so have I. What's one more?
Or one less. And I boot my helmet off and stare her very close in the eyes. So then, you're going to help me find out who did it, or there will be one less, and it's not going to be them.
Look, it's like I told you. There are a lot of people who want Axia dead. I'm just one of them. Arvox is losing money because the government seized his terraformed land. They won't let what's-his-face, that real estate guy, buy it because they're talking about just giving it to the Nautiloids. How stupid is that? And the one CEO, it is his dippy wife. They want to buy it and sell it off for parts. Everyone's mad about Axia and what she's doing.
You're mad that someone actually wants to do something good for someone and it messes up your little operation.
Look, I was gonna give the place to the Nautilids. I was just gonna embellish my lifestyle along the way.
I really don't care if you kill her too, just so you know.
Well, hold on. If you come after me, there's gonna be a lot of people after you guys.
Many people have been after me all my life.
You are
Do you
not
have cameras in here?
inconspicuous. This is true. What was
Do you
that?
have cameras in this room?
Make me a perception check.
All right.
All right.
It's a 19.
You don't see any cameras.
I'm asking them then. Do you have cameras in this room?
Oh. I mean, I do what I gotta do to protect myself, but at the end of the day, if I'm dead, it doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't.
No, you were talking about people looking for me. I don't care.
Oh, well. I can't stop you then. You're gonna scar all those poor girls.
If they had to deal with you, they've been scarred already.
I pay well.
That's not good enough. There's a difference between living and surviving. Idiot. And I'm just gonna stand up and walk off.
I turn to Aggie. I don't mean to use you like a little Swiss Army knife, however. If you can find out where the other folk are, someone did it. And actually, while you do that, look at what Tenon and Percy are doing as well.
Will do. Can we leave this room first? I dislike this one.
You just leave.
So Aggie waddles out, and then before looking at any new footage, he's clipping footage of what's her face, Antona, to just uploading all of these things that she said that are self-incriminating onto her social media profiles and the profile and like the website of her charity and all of these things.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And the way I'm doing that is my subclass, the Futurist, allows my AI to recall everything that it's heard and seen verbatim for like 30 days.
Fash saves the day.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Fash
old
saves
Fash.
the day.
Wow.
Mhm.
Good old Fash. Okay, so you do all of that, and you've put some pretty incriminating shit on the internet about Antona. Now, she's been a public figure for a long time, so she's been scrutinized a lot. But you get the sense that this coming directly from her mouth will probably put a kibosh on her shitty activity for good.
The Fash smiles. And then I go to searching for all of the people that we're looking for. So checking in on Percy, Tenon. There's a lot of names.
Chesterfield.
Yeah, Chesterfield, Marcus, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody.
Even
Arvox.
Ooks, just in case.
Literally everyone you guys have interacted with.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just checking in on everybody.
Well, you're in luck because Percy, Ooks, and Tenon are all in the same place. They are all back in the security office, and you can see Percy is organizing paperwork, and if you enhance, you can see he's going through the guest list, like frantically trying to. It's obvious on the look on his face. He's trying to work out what's happening, and like how on earth you guys got invited to this party, and why would they let in a murderer? So Percy's just poring over the records, trying to look at those things.
Now, are these cameras visual only or audio as well?
They're only visual.
Okay.
Ux is just pacing. He's just pacing in that office. And Tenon is on that communicator that he used earlier. It seems that the shock of the evening has finally kind of caught up with him. And he's got his head in his hand as he's talking, and there are just tears just running down his face. And then you go on to search for the other folks that you've seen. And you've managed to find Arvox and Inkwell? What name did I give this ludicrous person? Intwell. You find Arvox and Intwell pretty easily. They're back at Arvox's room, and he's just like kind of got his hands up in the air looking at this passed out orc. But if you sit and watch for a moment, you'll see the two of them will kind of do exactly what you guys did and step over him. And go into the room, and they'll sit and they'll talk for a minute, and Arvox will go over to the suitcases that hadn't been unpacked, and he'll find like a briefcase with some papers in it, and he'll pull out the papers and give them to Intwell, who will start flipping through them. And as Intwell's sitting there reading, his wife Bitsy is going to sort of stumble in through the doorway and collapse into one of the chairs in there. It's pretty obvious to you that they're talking business stuff. And last but not least, you're looking for Chesterfield. And you find him in his room on a communicator of his own. He looks upset. He's also pacing. But there's something very strange about this scene. He's pacing and sort of angrily talking into the phone, but there are two heavily armored automatons, like overly armored automatons, in the room with him.
Enhance that bit right there. Enhance that. Those ones look big. I want to see their serial numbers.
Yes, Grant.
So good at this.
Thank you.
Immediately as you kind of go to zoom in and find that VIN number for Grant to pour over, one of the automatons turns, looks up directly at the camera, and shoots.
Well, that was suspicious.
Yeah, I think it's a little suspicious that they got cameras in the rooms, but we can talk about that later.
It's more suspicious that the camera was taken out when someone walked in the room.
Maybe we should...
I assume like the camera made like a sound, and they're like, the fuck? Looks like we have our destination, and I'm going to like quite literally start like parkouring is the wrong word, but like I guess like phantom grab, almost like Spider-Maning, like is getting closer. But yeah, I'm in a rush, but I'm going fast.
So you all are rushing off to Chesterfield's room. His room number is 947, so he is literally on the other side of the satellite from you, which wouldn't be a big deal if you weren't trying to beat him to the punch. So you all are on your way across the satellite to get there. I'm assuming moving at full speed. Aggie, you might be trailing behind just a little because...
I do fortunately move as fast as everybody else normally would. But I will slow down if it would give me the opportunity to maybe set some alarms off or something in the area that might prevent them from doing whatever they're about to do.
So as you're going through and like you're setting off not fire alarms but like meteor shower alarms for the satellite that basically just it's designed, it's a system that's designed to let guests know to stay in their rooms in case there's any kind of weird turbulence or in case one of these meteors is large enough to actually puncture part of the satellite. It's designed to keep the guests safe and in their rooms. So you are setting off that system, and as you're going through and trying to do that, an alert pops up that lets you know there is a ship being prepped for departure. Even though right now the whole shuttle bay is supposed to be locked down. No entry, no exit.
So while everyone's running towards the room, I'm going to go ahead and like, it's still like probably slow down even more so that I can pull up the cameras over by that shuttle.
Okay. You pull up the cameras to see that a nondescript shuttle is indeed it's currently being remotely turned on essentially and prepped for takeoff. So you see that all the thing is getting ready to go. The entry platform is lit up with all the lights that let people know, hey, avoid this because you're going to get fried by an engine if you stand here. And looking at the cameras approaching the dock, you can see Chesterfield and these two automatons are not rushing, they're not running or anything, but they are heading towards the shuttle bay as they hear the sirens go off. Luckily for you guys, the entrance to the shuttle bay is closer than room 947. So he's coming straight at you.
Did me slowing down put them far enough away from vocal range to the rest of the party?
You're only about 50 feet behind them.
Okay. We should go to the port instead, everyone. And I make a big screen that everyone can see what I what I see.
Ace, you're leading the charge here. I take it. You kind of sped off first.
Yeah, if I see that, yeah, I will. You know best. And I'm assuming we're trying to like cut them off from getting to the port first.
Yep.
So.
And actually, as soon as that screen, as soon as Aggie pulls up that screen for all of you to see, you can see the entrance to the shuttle bay off to your front left, basically. And you see Chesterfield and the two automatons making their way through that doorway. They're only about 70 feet from you.
Okay. Let's check it there. While I'm checking this, I'll just say, attack now or let them get closer.
I would say the time is of the essence.
That sounds like a yes to me. Okay. Cool. Then I will take out one of my cards again.
Okay.
And I will. Yeah, I will. I will actually. What I'll do is I'll take out that card and I'll toss it towards them. I believe I can make it towards them. Where are you at? Where are you at? Come on. Sorry.
You're fine. Are you guys like you're running right now?
Yeah, if you've ever seen Oddworld's Stranger's Wrath, I'm basically that stranger, like on all fours, since I'm like a beast man.
Is that
Nice.
subtle? Is it quiet?
Doesn't have to be.
It might not.
Well,
be
I can be
subtle.
pretty quiet if we need to be quiet.
I was gonna say, I feel like Aggie's gonna be the loud one in this suit.
Definitely am probably rather loud.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm going to. You said they're 70 feet away?
They're about 70 feet away, yep. They're a little further from you. They're closer to 100 feet from you since you did slow down.
Oh, okay. They're 100 feet away from me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shrink Chesterfield.
Oh, okay, that works too.
How?
Yep. I have a shrink ray. And what it does is it basically, I'm casting enlarge reduce on him.
Cool. With that action, I want everyone to roll me initiative. And while we do that, Aggie, what do I roll to avoid being shrunk-ditted?
If I was a smart man, I would have pulled up the enlarge reduce spell ahead of time.
It's a Constitution saving throw.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's going to be you need to roll against. Why am I not better organized? I apologize.
You're fine.
How dare you?
17 is what it needs to be.
He beat you. He got a 19. So can he tell that you cast enlarge reduce?
Oh, I mean, I definitely just shot a laser beam at him that probably, it probably like started to shrink him and then just didn't.
Okay. So Chesterfield, having like just been shot, basically is gonna turn and notice you all. Oh, my friends. That was a foolish thing to do. What did everyone get for initiative?
Oh,
24.
Yeah, 20. Why am I going fast?
14.
You're just like cannonballing through everyone towards the bay. Hey, I got a nat 22, so.
Oh God.
Damn it.
Sorry, I'm waiting for a writing utensil. Okay, cool. All right. So, what is Aggie? What is your nat 20 with your modifier?
With my modifier, that would be 22.
22.
Mm-hmm.
And I apologize, Grant. What did you have?
24, but it was dirty. It wasn't a nat 20.
Dirty.
Was dirty.
It was dirty.
Ezekiel.
14 for Ezekiel.
14. And my dear Ace.
18 for me.
18. Cool. I'm just gonna have the automatons and Chesterfield go together. 20. And...
I'm going to ask you out loud, and
Yes.
I can't tell you why I'm asking this, but are you sure you want to do that?
Me?
Nope. Diana.
Sure, I want to do what?
Put them together.
Yeah, no, in this case I do.
Okay. No. This isn't a bad thing. I'm just verifying. That's all.
Don't make me second guess myself. That's rude.
Gosh, did we kill them?
Rude. Fuck you. All right.
I love you.
Grant, you're up.
Grant's up, even though they got nat 20s.
your grand total was higher than theirs. You said 24, right?
Yeah. All right, I'll do it. Well, then this changes things. Let's see.
So luckily, all three of them are kind of grouped together right now. It's Chesterfield in the front, and then flanking behind him are the two automatons.
Okie dokie. Well, I have half cocked, which means I have advantage on attack rolls against people who haven't taken a turn in combat yet. So then I will fire once at Chesterfield.
Okay.
That is a 28 to hit with my Frosty Very Blaster.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And since that was a 19 on the die, that is a critical because my critical range is an 18 to 20. And if I beat their AC by 5, I get an extra die. Did I beat their AC by 5?
What'd you get?
28.
What do you think?
Okay, I'm just checking.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what. This is space. There are no rules in space. So then I roll these twice, and I don't add anything because it's ranged gun, right?
Sure.
Correct.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll these twice. So the first one is 5 plus, so 16 frost or cold damage for the first roll, and then for the crit that'll be another 8 plus 6, so 14.
Okay.
14 plus 16, so 30 with the first hit. And if I get a critical against a larger, smaller creature, they are incapacitated until the beginning of my next turn, unless they're an elemental, ooze, or undead.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
see, I'm not breaking anything this time.
It's true. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't deserve to do combat in space. Maybe that's what's happening here. So the last time that we played, Omega took my mega construct, my big baddie, and basically nerfed him instantly with, was it Hex that did it?
It was each time you tried to attack me, I basically say, you're not going to do that this round.
It was,
you're actually going to disengage.
It was something dickish that made my strength or my constitution 3
Oh,
instead
that too,
of
yeah.
24.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get to fucking fight in space, apparently. Anyway, go ahead, Grant.
So then Grant has one more attack.
Sure he does.
And with that, I think I'm going to let Chesterfield stay incapacitated, and I'm going to hit one of them there automatons that I got to see their VIN number. So that second one is a 15 plus 9, but I think I want to use one of my lucky things. It's not the feat, but it's the
good old Douglas luck.
It's a good old Douglas luck. I can do it 3 times per day. I forget what it's called, but there's 3 of them, and I can re-roll. So I'm gonna do that just to see if I get a critical.
Okay.
I did not. So that's just if I hit, that's just a regular hit with a 24.
You hit it.
And did I beat their AC by 5?
Yes.
Okie dokie.
I don't know why that math was so hard to do.
So then that is 18 cold damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's all I want to do.
And for my knowledge as DM, were you trying to hit the one? Did you hit the one on the left or to the right of Ezekiel, or not Ezekiel, Chesterfield? Excuse me.
I hit the one on the left.
Okay.
Go over to the left.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, and then can I do one more thing? Is this okay?
Sure.
Since I hit it with a range attack, I wanna spend one of my. Is it holding a weapon?
Well, the automaton kind of has built-in weapons.
They are weapons. Never mind. I'm done.
Yeah. He is a weapon. He be a weapon.
I'm done. I want to say something really cool, but I don't know what to say personally, so we'll just pretend Grant said it.
I want to believe that it's exactly what you just said.
Okay.
I want to say something really cool.
Ooh, you knocked Chesterfield out. So much for sleeping on the job.
Oh man. Okay. So that actually brings us to Aggie. What's your dex?
My dex is 14.
Cool. Neato. Well, we're gonna let you go first.
Okay.
It's your turn.
I move closer to everything since I'm a little far away at the moment.
Okay.
And I'm going to use a bonus action to activate my genetic algorithm, which essentially will give me some damage reduction if I do get hit.
Okay.
And then after that, I'm going to use my overload beacon to make blasters that I don't want to work no longer work. So as an action, I can activate this gadget, which produces a signal that causes every blaster within 60 feet to overheat. But I've upgraded it so that I can make certain blasters exempt. So Grant's blaster as well as mine are not affected. And this will last for 1 turn, and I can only do this once per minute.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking about like a laser pistol, essentially that's overheating, is that
just can't be fired?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, Neato, that was a bonus action.
No, that was my
an
action.
Okay. Cool.
And then my bonus action was activating.
Making yourself. Okay. Neato.
Yeah.
So that brings us to Chesterfield, who is frozen in place, seemingly. He just kind of can't move, and he looks a little bit confused by this.
Took a bullet to the gut. I think he's winded.
Yeah, he's sort of out of it right now, and was not expecting A, to be caught, and B, to be incapacitated. But you notice that as he's kind of sitting there, he takes a deep breath in and just... And Grant, it almost looks like some of the damage that you've done to him begins to heal over very quickly. He looks a little better than he did a second ago. But he can't do anything, so he's just sort of frozen there, staring at you all, like, menacingly, like daggers.
Why, Chesterfield, you look like somebody just walked over your grave.
Is this who you just actually are?
Deep down.
I really want it to be. And then
this is inner Texan coming out.
The 2 automatons, like, prepare to take aim and fire, but nothing happens. They're like... And that's their turn. Ace, you're up.
Ace kind of steps forward because he was about 70 some feet away or whatever.
Yep.
And he'll clear 40 feet to get to 40 feet. But as he's walking, he's going to take a card. He kind of like splays the cards out and catches one in his hand as the other ones come back to the deck. And he kind of points it and faces it towards them, and it's a 2. And he says, well, let's see how this will be. And he literally tosses it at their feet. I'm going to need a wisdom saving throw. I'm going to say for Chesterfield.
We're going to use a legendary action to roll that. Much better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
Oh, never mind. I don't have to reroll. It's just he's going to resist it.
He will. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's cool. And let me check a thing. Cool. And he notices that and goes, cute trick. I'm not mad at that.
He'll sort of smile at you, but because he's sort of frozen in place, it looks real funny.
Our legendary resistance, is that a reaction or is it just a thing they can do? I don't know how legendary things go.
You just get 3 a day, so it is a reaction, but
if he's incapacitated, can he react? Is what I'm asking.
That's a good question. Hey, people who know rules better than I do.
So incapacity, like react to what specifically?
Can
Some
he...
of they are sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Can he use a legendary resistance against something if he's incapacitated?
Yeah, because
I'd say that's up to you, because they can't take actions or reactions if they're incapacitated.
Well,
But
technically,
that's also
a
you're the one
legendary
in charge.
action isn't either one
like a
of those.
trait.
That's
Yeah.
what I was wondering.
It's a unique part of the action economy that exists only for those big boss monsters. So they're not. Yeah, if they have a reaction and legendary actions, they can do both. But I mean,
Personally, I'd
ultimately,
like it
it's
if Chesterfield had a little bit of oomph in him. I feel bad if I shot him. in the back out the back.
That's just the way combat goes for me when CB is involved. I guess
Not
it's
true.
how things happen.
Not true.
But yes, he'll kind of like, even though he's half shuttered over from the blow that Grant gave him, he'll look up at you, Ace, and just sort of give you a malevolent smile.
And I just say, I fought folks like you, and I know that it all comes in threes.
Then you know you can't win.
I'm literally an ace. Don't get it twisted. And you see a card literally like fly from behind him, and he catches it in his hand as I bonus action do a thing that I just literally load a card. And that's my turn.
Okay. Which
card
brings
do I
us
get
to Ezekiel.
today?
This is your moment, friend.
Well, so they're about 70 feet away, you said,
Ooh, I
right?
got a jack.
At this point in time, they started to advance on you once Aggie took a shot. So you are within sprinting distance.
Yeah, I'll dash up to them. I'll double move right up.
Okay. Any bonus action? Anything like that?
No, not for a fighter.
All right, Grant.
I feel like the Samurai Jack music was playing when you run up with your sword. I was ready.
I just want you to know I'm not going to use it again because I like being extra, and he wouldn't use it again knowing that it might be wasted. I almost put your initiative at 0. I mean, at last, which is why Ags are all of them together, because then they all would be last.
I thought you liked me, CB.
Awesome.
Yeah, y'all are just like Diana's just here trying to have fun too.
know,
What the hell, y'all?
I feel bad. I felt bad when I did that to the bad guy.
Anyway, Grant, go ahead.
Grant is gonna do some fancy tricks, and he's gonna start firing his very blaster. This time he'll use a bonus action, and he's gonna change it to necrotic damage.
Okay.
So he shifts the chamber over one, and you see the barrel kind of fog out this purple skull-shaped mist for a moment, and then he points it and squints with one eye and fires 2 shots at Chesterfield's face.
And Grant is a space cowboy, right?
Actually, it's called Son of a Lucky Gun. It's one of the original ones. I just thought it would be cool if Grant was kind of out of
He's a space cowboy.
a different era.
I'm just
so that's
picturing this as like a revolver where you're spinning the chamber really fast too. And
Yeah.
that's like, I don't know, it's a cool visual.
Yeah, super cool. I thought that was a super cool weapon. So that is a 15 plus 9, so 24 to hit,
That hits, and it is 5 higher.
and it is 5 higher.
Yeah.
So this will be necrotic damage. So that is 6, 9 plus 5, 14 damage for the first shot. And I'm also going to do a limb shot. So on my next shot, I'm going to aim for their hand, and if I hit, we're going to try and make Chesterfield drop his weapon.
Okay.
So that is a 3. So I'm going to use my good old fashioned Grant Douglas luck to re-roll. That's a 17 plus 9. So many.
Yes, that does hit.
And I
it
can
is
only
more than 5.
well, I can only do that once per turn. So
Okay.
it's just 3d6 this time. So that is 5, 3, 3. So 11.
Oof. Still 3d6. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a good weapon. So 11 damage, and then they need to succeed on a DC 17 Constitution saving throw or drop the weapon.
Okay. Point of order, he doesn't have a weapon.
Well then,
You can shoot his hand off if you want. Or try to.
let's go for the pinky.
Pinky? Okay.
Ow, ow, ow.
He will succeed.
He succeeded. Okay.
He succeeded.
Well,
And
still
then-
hurt.
It did, but it didn't look as hurty as it should have been. You've shot a lot of people with this gun. You've seen it do a lot of damage, but it doesn't look like it's doing anything to him.
I'll fix that on the next round.
Aggie.
Alrighty. I'm gonna move close enough to hit him with my drill.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make my attack.
Can you get there?
And, so I moved 30 feet forward last turn, and then I'm moving another 30 feet this
He
turn.
can get there.
Oh shoot!
Okay. I guess I didn't know
Like
how far.
mathematically 70 feet, but again, they started to advance on you after
Okay.
you took a shot at them the first time.
I was just
so.
curious. I was like, are we close enough?
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, I had actually forgotten that I was a little bit further back. Fortunately, they moved forward. Thank goodness. Because yes. Okay, cool. So yeah, 16 plus 9, so 25.
That hits.
Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and just use my bonus action to make a second attack as well, so I can roll damage at once.
Okay.
And that is a natural 1 for the bonus action attack. So we will only hit one time.
Were you trying to use your drill both times?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we'll say you kind of like and this is against Chesterfield.
Uh-huh.
So you're going in and you take your drill and you actually connect, which you weren't expecting on the first throw. It looked like it was going to be easier to dodge. And so you almost lost your balance because you put so much inertia behind that when you reeled back to do your second shot, you missed by mere inches.
Okay. Well, fair enough. That is 13 damage
Okay.
for the one attack that did land.
All right.
And I've already used my move action and my bonus, so next person up.
That would be the Lich.
A lich.
Yep.
Excuse me?
He's regenerating, y'all.
Yeah, I should have shot him a couple more times.
Did not know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
So-
enjoy that one bit.
I mean, Ace, you would have recognized this, having seen all the things that you've seen in the universe, and
Yeah. Okay.
with your unique acumen to the more arcana based pieces of the universe, there's something unnatural about the way that he is moving. There is something that just feels unholy about his presence. And
Okay.
even though he's got this like tycoon appearance with a really nice suit, there's something ancient and evil about him. So he was incapacitated. That is over now, correct, Grant?
Oh, but he was incapacitated? Too late.
Yeah, that ended at the.
That ended
start
on
of
your
my last
turn, right?
Sorry,
Cool.
one second.
He is going to. Ezekiel is within touching range, and so is Aggie at this point. He's gonna look you like through your nautilid mask thing, right into your eyes, Aggie, and he's just gonna reach out and touch your suit and say, "I can't wait to watch the last of you go." And he's going to cast Blight on you.
You will see 3 spells come out. Not 3 spells. You will see 3 cards fly from my hand. And it's like a queen, a jack, and a king. And they literally all come out of those pictures, of the pictures of the cards, and stand right in front of Aggie like a shield.
Okay.
And say, no, I just cast counterspell.
Okay.
I probably have to roll for it. I believe Blight is higher, and I'm only doing this at 3rd level.
Okay.
I
have to look up the mechanics because I don't have everything memorized. Please forgive me.
No worries. I won't lie. I was not expecting to use that spell. I was like, I'm gonna get it just in case, but I don't think we're gonna be fighting anything with magic.
Omega, why won't you let me hurt
So if
people?
it's 4th level or higher, you just need to. The DC is 10 plus spell level.
Yeah.
So make me a check.
Sure. I actually rolled a 14 on the die,
Okay.
so that's a 19 for me.
All right, cool. Well, that's what you needed to counter my spell. You dick.
What does Chester
Unless-
look like?
So Chesterfield is a tall human with lots of bushy gray facial hair and ashen skin. He's middle-aged in appearance, but appears very strong. Kind of like the sexy Santa grandpa that's been circulating on the internet the last couple of years, like that kind of appearance.
I'm not familiar with it, but okay.
You know, just picture sexy Santa, and you're there.
I know when you said it, it made.
I
exact
figured it
sense.
would
I know
click
exactly what you
immediately.
meant.
So what this will kind of look like is Aggie, he'll threaten you and reach out, and you'll see these 3 cards from Ace sort of fly out of nowhere and insert themselves in between the two of you. And where Chesterfield had been reaching out to touch you, it'll almost be like it burned him, and he'll pull back instinctively.
I could say you were saying.
Rude. However, the 2 automatons will also recognize that you're close enough, and currently the object of Chesterfield's ire, and they are going to take shots at you. So they're going to. Oh goodness. Here we go. That is 24 to hit.
Me or
Aggie, yes.
Yep. Yeah, that hits.
Okay. And the other one will probably miss. That's a 12 to hit.
Yeah, that misses.
Okay. That'll be 5 points of damage as it kind of pulls back with the overheated laser that's a part of its arm, and now it's finally triggering correctly, and it just takes a little chunk out of your heavy duty armor along the side.
4 points of damage.
They're trying their hardest.
Didn't even break my temp HP. Oh yeah.
It's true. However, the other automaton is going to take the opportunity to try and shoulder you and slam you away.
Okay.
Which is a 23 to hit.
That hits.
Oh, I rolled a fucking 1. 4 bludgeoning damage.
All right. Yeah, I'll take 2 bludgeoning damage. It goes up. It starts at 1 and goes up every time I take a hit until
okay.
to maximum of my intelligence modifier.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, and that's part of the add-on that you just did to the.
That's my subclass. I run like AI subroutines, which make my like armor and stuff better.
Okay.
So yeah, genetic algorithm. Every time I take a hit, it scales up by 1.
Okay, that's pretty rad.
Mm-hmm.
Ace, you're up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a quick thing. 2 seconds. I promise. 2 seconds.
Okay.
And I'll explain why I laughed for a second.
Every time Ace attacks, I'm just picturing cuts from Yu-Gi-Oh!
I hate it.
I
Okay.
was thinking of Gambit.
He's very much like Gambit. I laughed because I never rolled my HP. So I was looking like, if I get hit, I'm like, oh,
You've been dead the whole time.
It's like, oh, so let me do that real quick. Also, cool. Then I see those two, and I look at him, and I'm like, okay, well, I wanted to have some fun, and I guess I'll do that now. And I'll take a card, and it's going to be a queen. I'm gonna take a queen, and then I move my fingers, and 2 cards appear. As I throw them, and they burn up, and they hit. One's going to hit Chesterfield, and the other's going to hit one of the random ones.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to use one of my War Mage features, which is 2 of a kind. I can cast a cantrip and spend a card to target an additional creature with that spell. Yes. So, okay. So I do these separately. I need to figure out. So against, I'm about to call him Augustus. That's not his name at all. Against Chesterfield, that's to be a 29 to hit.
That'll hit.
Great. I'm going to Arcane Surge this because he's the bigger of the baddies, which means I'm going to double my War Mage damage dice. So that can be 4d10. 2, 3, 14, 17.
I'm going to start adding a 10 times
25,
multiplier to all of my hits since I can't roll above it.
40. I'm also going to spend one of my cards to roll 1d12 and add that to it. I actually just rolled an 11, so 51 points of damage to Chesterfield.
Okay.
I believe that's correct. Ow, get off me. And then against one of the armored people. And that's what I was trying to figure out. Justin, since I 2 of a kind is technically 2 different attacks, or is it the same spell? You're muted, but I'm assuming you said 2 separate attacks.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
2 separate attacks, so no, you don't get to Arcane Search.
Oh no, I figured that.
Yeah.
And I don't get to our War Mage Surge on that one as well. I was just making sure. Cool.
No, totally.
That is a 27 to hit
That
the
hits.
the big boy, and that's only 2d10. That is 13 points of damage.
Okay. Were you hitting the one that had already been hit?
Yeah, I can start taking that one out.
All right.
It's gonna be the easiest thing to do.
Cool.
And then I keep moving forward, so now I'm actually probably at melee range with him. And I use a bonus action to draw another card.
All right.
Because I need cards in my hand.
Ezekiel,
No.
it's murder time.
All right. And I'm within melee of Chesterfield.
Yes, you are.
All right, I'm just gonna take a first swing at him. And I'm going to Great Weapon Master it to subtract 5 to my roll with my energy sword.
Fuck him up.
For 22.
That'll hit.
Damn.
So that is 23 radiant damage on the first strike.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Second strike, 23
Okay.
for 17 radiant damage.
So grand total of 40.
Yep. And then a bonus action with the dual bladed sword as another attack
All right.
for 30-20 to hit
That'll hit.
for another 17 radiant damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to action search.
Hell yeah, you are.
Jesus. Okay.
Gonna keep it going for a 19 to hit.
That still hits.
Are these like sequential, or are they so fast we can't even see them?
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. He's basically Darth Maul. That's legitimately
badass.
yeah.
Well, and these guys haven't seen your sword before. So that's like legitimately what this thing looks like, right?
Yes, 100%, because it's the dual bladed specifically.
Then you got the
badass.
double lightsaber.
Yep. So that is 22 radiant damage.
All right.
Ooh, that's a nat 20. Let 31 radiant damage.
Okay.
And then bonus action for last strike. The 19 to hit for 20 radiant damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Describe what this looks like, because you did a not insignificant amount of damage to this poor, unsuspecting business tycoon who was
You
just
called
trying
him a
to
lich like 5 minutes ago.
You know, liches deserve love too.
Get stitches. He probably just like dashes forward, and it's that moment of like the red in his eyes from the glowing LED in his helmet. It's moving so fast that there's like that streak for a second, and then the first strike comes across and there's a rush of heat, and then he probably goes back down in the same spot, and with the downward force it's just rotating him around, he'll hit the button so it comes out the bottom and then comes around and like stabs him in the shoulder, lifts it up, spin down the left shoulder, up on the right, and then across the chest, almost like he's making his own tic-tac-toe board on the ledge.
Okay. Which brings us back to the top of the order. Grant, you just watched Ezekiel go ham on Chesterfield.
It was amazing. Yeah, so he would probably take the first 3 of those 6 seconds just like and like stunned, and then realize what's happening. How far away am I?
I'm guessing, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here, I'm guessing that you stopped and started shooting at about the 20-foot mark.
Okay.
Or would you be further away than that?
No, I think that sounds great.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use my bonus action to turn that cylinder one more time, and you see the gun go kind of golden and all kind of like a hologram or something like that, all the way to the end of the barrel as it clicks back in for its regular radiant damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try this gambling shot. So it says, once per turn when I make this ranged attack roll with a firearm, I chance a risky shot to deal a decisive blow. If I hit, I'm going to roll the damage, and I'm going to take a guess if the next roll is going to be higher or lower. If I guess correctly, I add that first damage to it.
Okay.
So let's see if I hit. So that is a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. So this will be fun. I wanted to use it, but I was afraid to use it because I'm not a gambler. So that is 15 for the damage dice. So I'm going to guess that my next roll is going to be lower than that.
Okay.
So next was 4, 3, and 1. So 8 plus 15 for the first shot.
All right. 23.
And then I will attack again. I like shooting Chesterfield.
Apparently.
I'm
Poor
focused.
Chesterfield.
I'm used to fighting one person in a quick draw.
Man, can you
So
guys
that is a
imagine
19,
if
so
he's
that is a
innocent?
critical.
Okay.
So all that same stuff from last time kicks in. So I'm gonna add 1 damage die to that, and then they will be incapacitated until the beginning of my next turn. So that is 10 damage plus.
And
Plus
it's
15.
incapacitated. It's not like paralyzed or anything.
No, not paralyzed, just incapacitated. So they just can't take actions or reactions. So that was 6. So that was 15. So 10 and 15. So 25 for that second hit.
Cool.
And then I would probably do like a spin the gun around a little bit.
Some showmanship there.
Yeah.
So Ezekiel, you've just like done about if I were to put a number to it, about 100 points worth of hurt to this poor guy. And as you're sort of standing there, sort of shaking off that moment, 2 bullets just sort of go whizzing right past your head and sink into Chesterfield's shoulder. And you glance over your shoulder and you see Grant there spinning his pistol, smiling at you because he's really excited about it. I feel like
I give him a thumbs up.
This reload time is exhilarating.
Aggie, you're up.
All right, so this guy didn't seem super phased by my drill, and I'm a little nervous about it. So I'm going to use my gravity manipulator on him and make him hopefully float in the air. And so what I'm going to need from you is a Constitution saving throw of 17, hopefully lower than 17, please.
I'm gonna go ahead and cash in another legendary resistance to overcome that feeling.
Cool. Well, that's my turn, and someone else is up.
It is Chesterfield's turn. He's mad and he really doesn't feel good, but he can't do much about it, so he'll just kind of grind his teeth and turn to the automatons that are at his side. Both of whom are coming for you, Ezekiel. So the first one is just gonna kind of use his arm as a club, essentially, to try and knock you about. And I sincerely doubt a 10 is going to hit you.
No, my AC's a 20.
Cool. Which means a 9 isn't going to hit you. I'm really rolling badly, guys.
Lie to me.
I'm a bad liar.
That's fine.
However, a 23, I'm guessing, will hit you.
Yes.
So he's going to shoulder check you for 8 bludgeoning damage, and go ahead and make me a strength saving throw.
Oh, 13.
Okay. Not quite enough. You, my dear, have been knocked prone, so he just kind of shoulder checks you, and you sort of, having just completed all of these swipes, you're expecting to sort of parry and joust rather than be just decked by a machine. So it sends you flying sort of back against the ground a couple of feet.
And then behind him, a jack is going to appear and hold him up. But that's just a dream. It doesn't happen. I promise. I'm not being an asshole to you. I'm sorry.
Those eyes were like, why do you hate me?
I'm sorry. I can't do that.
The other automaton, having seen you push to the ground, is going to come over and try and again wail on you with its arm.
Do it.
That is a 20.
And you are rolling with advantage too, right?
I am now.
Yeah, because I'm prone, so they get advantage.
Oh, that's right. Okay, cool. That's 2. That's 3. Okay, so all 3 of its attacks are going to hit, which means... Nice. Keep rolling 1s on the damage die. So that's 4. 9 bludgeoning. And 12 additional bludgeoning, so 22 altogether.
Nice.
Got it. Math. 21. And that will be the automaton's turn, which brings us to Ace.
Okay. Chesterfield couldn't do anything?
Yeah, he was incapacitated again.
Oh, okay.
Because Grant's rude.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
No, I for the record, I appreciate the fact that I get thrown for loops like this, because in every single home game I play, none of this crap happens. So the fact that you guys make such good characters, now granted it makes for less interesting combat for me, but like it's rad. I like hearing this stuff. Anyway, go ahead, Ace.
I'm dead. I'm going to excuse me. I'm going to do another force dart. Just flick another card in the air, and it just kind of spins, becomes blue energy, and it goes down to Chesterfield. Yeah. And that still doesn't matter because I got flexible range, bitch. That is a dirty 20 to hit. And then...
Dirty 20 will hit.
That is 13, 28 points of damage.
All right.
So I guess making sure I'm checking the right thing.
You're okay.
Yeah, 13, 28. And then another yeah. I will. Yeah, I'll use a card. I'll use a card to target one of the other ones with that same spell.
Okay.
I was trying to decide if I wanted to waste it or not. And that'll be a natural 20. Swear to God. You double dice or double damage?
I doubled a dice.
Double dice. 4d10. That's how they did a d10. 21. 25 points of damage.
Okay. And again, you were going after the one that had already been hit?
Yep.
Okay.
Making it easy.
Cool.
And then bonus action, get another card.
All right. Ezekiel.
So, half my movement to stand up. And Chesterfield is still just near me?
He's near you, but the two automatons are in the way. So if you want to get to Chesterfield, they're going to take attacks of opportunity against you.
Worth it. I'm doing it.
Okay. One of them is going to hit you for 8 points additional bludgeoning damage.
Deal. Worth it. I'm going to take 3 more Great Weapon Master swings. All right. 28 minus 5 for 9 radiant.
Okay.
19.
20 for 14 radiant.
Okay.
Oh my god, you're right. It is 19 because it's plus 10. So
I was
19,
like, hold on. Plus
I was not
10.
doing a 10. 19 for the first one and then 24 for the second. And then third one, bonus action. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing math, CV. 22 for 24 radiant. So, good lord. 19 plus 24 plus 24. Oh, that's a lot. I'm sorry. Wait.
You know what?
67.
Tell me what this looks like as you cut Chesterfield down.
Left arm, right arm, spin above the head, down the center.
Crotch to crown. Okay.
Yep.
So from a distance, Ace and Grant, you kind of see Ezekiel push himself up, so he rises to his feet, and he's staring down the two automatons, and he just bolts in between them really quickly. He's so agile. And then in 3 quick successive strikes, chunks of Chesterfield flop to the ground. And the automatons, now no longer having a directive, are just going to kind of like stand in waiting position.
That's what I was hoping for.
And you have killed the murderer. His body, it's strange. Even though he just died and was just killed, the stench of death is super thick, almost as if there's some decay and rotten flesh nearby.
That's nasty.
It's pretty gross.
Shouldn't have used the nasty card.
Yeah, it stinks in here now. You don't know that they're going to be able to like clean this place up enough to the point where this opera house is going to be useful anymore.
What I
Pull from the wait staff, and I just know the right person for the job.
What I just do is toss up one of my cards and it explodes in a whiff of potpourri and almost like, honestly, like marijuana, but like the good shit. Fills the air as I cast Prestidigitation.
Okay.
And I roll Arcana to know what's going on here with the magically rotten body.
Sure.
Because I know what it is, but Aggie might not. So let me see here. That is a 17.
Okay.
I rolled low.
Aggie, you are more versed in the world of technology than you are in the world of Arcana. So you see this happen, and this stench fills the air, and
I push a button and my olfactory sensors turn off, but
Yeah.
continue.
But he was dead, but he was like standing and like threatening you and talking. How? And
I
then-
see that. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You kind of look to your left, and Ace is standing there, basically making potpourri rain from the sky. And you're like, I don't even know. How is this possible?
Like I said, Ace would probably see that Aggie has shifted, so he doesn't have to smell anything. I'm like, I can't say I know everything about Nautilus, but I assume you don't know what a lich is.
No.
Picture this. One of you doesn't want to die, so they turn the very thing you're sustained in into a phylactery. Then they use in arcane forces and ways of necromancy. Keep themselves alive, though not alive.
Smart zombie.
Very smart zombie.
About this time, Tannen, having heard a commotion and just now making his way down here. What did you guys do?
We handled what you couldn't.
We
Well-
enacted swift justice.
To be fair, this one did the final blow. But yeah,
So, he was the murderer?
We're like 90% sure.
Yes,
90%?
100%.
How?
There was an admission of guilt that was spoken aloud.
I play the clip.
He didn't actually admit that he killed anybody.
Yeah, I lied.
Oh,
I was gonna say, wait, plays what clip?
I don't play the clip.
How?
well,
He brought up the fact that he was a danger and that he was most likely the one who had caused the issue. He said, "I've done it and I'll do it again," and then started to run.
Make me a deception check.
Not a
And-
problem.
and when we can I give him the help action doing this? And I say that because we actually noticed that we were my apologies. Agrius did some snooping around via his technology and spying upon Mr. Chesterfield. We noticed that he was agitated, preparing to leave early when no one was supposed to leave. And when he found out he was being looked at, one of his guards, tink tink, decided to shoot the camera out. We can get the footage of that.
I do show the footage of the shooting the camera, the ship getting prepped to leave even though the station was locked down, and them heading towards the station. I conveniently cause a glitch in the system to erase Aggie attacking first.
Okay. So before we get the results of that roll, Grant, it's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Would he recognize enough of this conversation as being willfully untruthful to participate in the lie, or is he standing there looking very confused?
Well, you know, Grant might not know book learning, but he's captured his fair bit of criminals, and he knows lying, and he knows when lying can benefit you. So Grant would say that, yes, indeed, we enhanced that image. And by the way, you're filming our bedrooms? That's a little messed up.
Well, it's a security feature. We don't, watch them. That's weird. Ezekiel, you have advantage on your roll to deceive.
That's an 18, which is great, because I didn't realize I had a -1, because it was a 19.
Okay, all right.
Not good at lying.
Very good at lying.
So, Tenen's gonna kind of glance at all four of you, and so we're safe now, right?
Well, you do have others who probably wanted to get Miss Axiamentis destroyed, killed, done with. But we got the one who actually did it.
We had someone who said that they just got beat to it first, so maybe reevaluate your clientele.
Well, they pay good money. Was it 4 or 5L?
You didn't pay me to tell you.
The clip gets displayed of Antona because, screw Antona so much.
You're the worst.
Oh, well, yeah, we knew that, but we were hoping to get her on our side. I mean, powerful people like that are good for the cause, but, well, I'm thankful that you all were able to figure it out.
I will say she at least was going to do what Axiamentis was going to do. She just wanted to do it on her own terms. Also, and I don't say anything after I say also, my eyes just go down to where Chesterfield was. He doesn't have his phylactery on him, does he?
Oh. I guess not. I haven't looked at a lot of dead bodies. I don't. And there's no recognition.
But there's nothing on Chesterfield that's like magical and still there?
Not that you can see, no. But again, he's in his tux. Though if one of you would like to look, there's the possibility. Going through, he has like a signet ring that looks like it came from some Terran culture. It's very, very old. And of all the things you find in his pocket, there's actually there's a folded up sort of brochure of sorts. That's the program layout for the council meeting that's supposed to take place in a couple of days. The one that Axia was going to speak at to try and secure Blue Springs for the Nautilids. So that was in his suit pocket, but no real magical stuff on him, no.
Then I turn back to Tenen. Firstly, throwing him the half of the money that I stole from him. And I'll say, firstly, don't forget, we were hired to do this for a reason. We can do things you couldn't even imagine. I stole that from you hours ago. Past that, we dealt with this situation temporarily. Looks like I'm going to have to figure out exactly where he keeps his belongings, not just in this opera house. Because from what I know about liches, they're not actually dead until you destroy the things they're tied to.
What do you mean?
He's
here in pieces.
For now. He won't be soon.
Oh God. He could come back?
Technically.
Well, you all will have to stay then. You've got to help here, right? I can't
Nope.
deal with this. I can't deal with it.
I was asked to solve a murder, and I did it. If you're murdered, leave a note for me for that one too.
I can pay you whatever you want.
It was never about money for me.
What do you want?
Well, if he comes back, we'll see. The rest of that's the rest of them.
Okay.
He's probably gonna walk off and have a smoke.
So
It's a satisfied after fight smoke, but don't smoke. Smoking is bad for you.
it's bad for your health. So Ezekiel just kind of like wanders off after this conversation where Tenon looked relieved for all of like a third of a second, and now he's just terrified that that there's gonna be more to this. So he thanks you all intrinsically and kind of begins to address the other guests that are there through the PA system, saying that, you know, Axia's death has been avenged, and if everyone can bear with them, they'll still be able to have this wonderful fundraising evening. It's what Axia would have wanted. Tenon explains to you all that he is planning on going to the council in Axia's stead, but he wonders if you all would accompany him for that adventure.
Well, as long as you can help me find a space horse, then I'm in.
A space horse.
Space horse. Like a horse with many more legs and can travel on the stars.
Yeah, well, for the
Or
space
a
rodeo. We'll see if we
Or a
can.
spaceship.
That too. That has been Not Another Space Opera. This was a Dark Matter one-shot brought to you by Barbarian and Mage Press. I want to thank all of my beautiful players for this evening. Let's go in reverse order. Mr. Omega Jones, where can people find you?
Oh, hey, Omega Jones here, also known as The Critical Bard. You can find me at Critical Bard across all social media channels, including Twitch, where I am a partnered variety streamer, playing games and having a good time. Every Tuesday, you can catch me on that channel for In Unison, which is a show where I talk with people in the community and literally duet with them about life, liberty, and the pursuit of being a hot mess. Other than that, yeah, I'm just everywhere. You can look at my socials and figure it out from there. Thank you for letting me be here. Yeah.
Justin.
Hi, I'm Justin. I'm the community manager for Mage Press. I wear many hats over there, but main thing I do is handle the social business partnerships and all that kind of marketing, all that stuff. Had a lot of fun playing with all of y'all, and if you're interested in Dark Matter, check out our Kickstarter. And over there, it's doing pretty well, and in my totally biased opinion, it's a lot of fun.
In a totally unbiased opinion, it's still a lot of fun, even when you roll like shit. Gabe.
Gabe at Gabe James Games on Twitch, Twitter, pretty much anywhere else. Digital and tabletop designer. I don't know. I don't really have anything.
Just all around cool guy who does cool stuff and wrote some of the pieces of the Dark Matter Kickstarter that's happening right now.
Yeah, 100 on it. I'm very excited.
Can't wait to see
There's a lot that's happening. I don't know. Yeah, just check my socials. If something's happening, you'll probably hear about it. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that thing. It happens a lot more than you think.
I feel that hard. Justice.
I am Justice Armin. I am a writer. You can find me on Twitter at justice_Armin or at www.justicearmin.com. We just released recently Darkhold Secrets of the Zentarium on the DMs Guild. So check it if you haven't checked it out. Super cool. Lots of Thieves Cant in there. So yeah.
I worked on that thing too.
Yeah, you did. You forgot about it. It's one more of those things.
Gabe, did you write my life? Because we'll talk
Potentially.
about that too. So hi, I am Diana. I was the DM tonight. I am the business relations specialist over at Die Hard Dice. I am also one half of Barbarian, which does a lot of content creation in addition to just geeky stuff that we make and send out to people that like dice that roll really well for them, as some were rolled tonight. Thank you all for joining us, and thank all of my players for being amazing and wonderful and playing through this story with me. I really appreciate it, and thank you Level Up Dice for arranging this, and PAX for having us. So thank you all. We wish you a good night. We'll see you around the internet.